Well. Good evening, YouTube. Good evening, Scap Nation, and welcome into yet another edition of Scap Live After Dark. Coming to you live here. We just hit halftime, actually, of the Game 7 that is underway right now. Rockets and Warriors. Maybe not much of a surprise here that the Warriors look kind of tight, a little tentative. The Rockets do. The young, unproven team, only 39 points for them right now in the first half as they trail by 12 right now at halftime in this winner-take-all against Golden State. And to me, the big story, obviously, at halftime anyway, we'll see what goes on the rest of the game. But Buddy Hield right now is freaking carrying the Golden State Warriors in Game 7 on the road. Who saw that one? Who had that one on their bingo card? Certainly not me, but Buddy Hield at the half, 22 points on 8 of 9 shooting from the field, 6 of 7 from the three-point line. All of this underway, by the way, with Steph Curry. He literally just hit his first basket. He just scored his first points like seconds ago. I think there was under a minute to go in the first half, and Curry was being blanked. At halftime, Steph Curry has just 3 points on 1 of 7 in this critical winner-take-all game, and it doesn't matter because the Warriors still have a 12-point lead on the back of Buddy Hield's massive 22-point explosion. I don't even know what I'm looking at right now, to be honest with you. I was expecting this to be a good game, but I was expecting Steph Curry to be the one to show up here, at least in the first half. A major reprieve for him as he has done absolutely nothing, and it has not come back to bite him or his team. So we are at half, guys, here in Game 7. The winner of this game will be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves in the semifinals. And we will be taking you to the conclusion of this game. I'll be on through the second half, and I will be, maybe reacting to whatever happens in the aftermath, whatever happens. It looks like the Warriors obviously have the head up right now to take this one. But there was another game. There was a second game of the day, an early game, if you will. Game 1 of the semifinals in the East, and a surpriser in the East in that Game 1. The Indiana Pacers shocked, I don't want to say shocked the world, but they certainly shocked the Cleveland Cavaliers, who entered that game in Game 1 at home in Cleveland as 8.5-point favorites in that one. And the Pacers, by and large, pretty much controlled that game from start to finish. Of course, the big concern right now for Indiana is the health of Darius Garland, who missed his 3rd consecutive game now. He's dealing with some kind of a toe hyperextension, I believe, on his left foot, something that an injury that popped up in Game 2 of their first-round series against Miami. He sat out Games 3 and 4. There was some speculation possibly that maybe Cleveland was just being precautious with Garland because of, what an easy series they had that they were in with Miami, but not the case, as he does not go in Game 1 today. And he is still being labeled allegedly day-to-day right now, but he has not been cleared to return to practice yet. So that's got to be some concern for Cleveland moving forward, as they did not look good. They looked disjointed at times. They didn't really get into any kind of an offensive flow today against the Indiana Pacers, a team not generally renowned for their defensive prowess. In that game, you had, I think, by and large, a great team effort by the Indiana Pacers. Look, all 5 starters in double digits, 4 of the 5 starters over 17. Halliburton with 22 points, 13 assists. Good game for him. Really, nobody played a stellar game on Cleveland's end. Donovan Mitchell leads the way with 33 points, but not very proficient shooting. 13 of 30 from the field for him, 1 of 11 from the three-point line. So Cleveland just did not look right. They certainly could use their point guard, Darius Garland, in the worst way. So we'll have to keep an eye out and see what the updates are on that front for his availability moving forward throughout the series. But we can react to that if you guys want to discuss that Game 1. We certainly can do that. we can certainly discuss the Game 7, which is underway at the moment. Like I said, we'll keep an eye on it. Halftime's probably going to end in about 5 minutes or so with Golden State. Again, if you are just joining us here if you're just joining us in Scap Live After Dark, that is a 12-point lead for the Golden State Warriors, a game they simply must have. I think all the pressure is on them, despite the Houston Rockets being the 2 seed. And that's where we're at right now. I am Scap, of course, your host. I will be taking you through the end of the game and maybe doing a little post-game reaction. We also, as always, are joined by moderator Gary. Gary, how are you doing?
I am doing well, and what I'm thinking about is, are we seeing the second rendition of the Splash Brothers? This is what Buddy Hield was supposed to be when they got him, and imagine if he could play like this on a regular basis, and Curry can play like he's supposed to, and then Jimmy Butler, they could be a threat in the West if they can play like this, but this is probably not going to be the current ongoing trend.
I mean, this was, I think this was the plan, though, obviously. Buddy Hield was playing really well out of the gates, by the way, to start the season. And the Rockets were like a top 2 or 3 seed for maybe like 3 or 4 weeks at the front end of the season until Steph Curry got hurt. And they kind of, went down the toilet a bit at that point. And then they were really looking in a bad way coming up around the trade deadline, 25 and 26. They make the Hail Mary trade for Jimmy Butler, a move that paid off as they went 23 and 7 down the stretch with Butler in the lineup. And lo and behold, they enter into the playoffs as, a trendy little pick to make some noise, possibly in these playoffs. They go up 3-1 on the Rockets. It looks like they're cruising. It looks like they're going to, easily advance into the next round. And then this young Rockets team fighting back from the 3-1 series deficit to get it back into this Game 7 at home. And really, both teams look pretty tight, tentative, not shooting the best by and large throughout the first half. But Buddy Hield is rescuing the Golden State Warriors right now, rescuing Steph Curry with those 3 points on just 1 of 7 shooting right now for the baby-faced assassin at the half. So, we're going to start back up in a couple minutes. So we'll keep an eye on it. We can talk this game throughout. And if you guys have any other questions,
John has chimed in. Thank you for the $5 super chat. But Scap, what is this guy trying to do to you? Let's get this to go until 3 a.m. I don't know about that, John.
John Rackcliffe is back. John is he's a Scap Live After Dark regular. He's a regular contributor here. He's like one of the preeminent sponsors here on Scap Live After Dark. John, many thanks for you for sponsoring Scap Live After Dark and sponsoring me and supporting me out here. I appreciate you, John. And yes, you were a preeminent player in keeping us going last night. For any of you out there in YouTube land that were not on Scap Live After Dark last night in the lounge here.
And he wants us to know that he hates the Warriors and he wants Pistol Pete over Steph Curry any day of the week.
Yeah, John, I like that take, actually. I'm with you. I've not been the biggest Steph Curry supporter throughout my life, throughout my career here so far in the last 2 years, doing these kind of basketball takes and analysis. So, but I'm torn. I came into tonight's game probably wanting to see the Warriors blow a 3-1 lead, wanting to see Steph Curry blow a 3-1 lead, harkening back to that 2016 blown 3-1 finals lead as a 73-9 regular season team. But then I'm greedy. So I look forward into the next round, and I'm thinking to myself, what would be more juicy? What would be more tantalizing for me as just a fan of basketball? Would it be maybe watching this young Houston Rockets team play the Minnesota Timberwolves, or would it be that Minnesota Timberwolves, who are a bit of Ant Edwards and that Timberwolves team have slayed some really historically great players. They beat Jokic last year in the second round. They beat KD, Kevin Durant, last year in the first round. They beat LeBron in the first round. Now they would be going up against Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors. That would be a juicy little tasty second round matchup. So I think as much as I dislike the Warriors, which I do, John, I'm with you on that. I think that I want to see, I would like to see Golden State face the Timberwolves in the second round. So that's selfishly, that's what I'm going for. But
Jay, I've got some good news. We have a character arc in development. B Twix is here.
B Twix, shout out, bro. Welcome back.
Thank you for the super chat. And he is starting to see the light. Now, B Twix, now to complete your character arc, you just need to change your YouTube icon. Because Vin Diesel, I think you can do better than that. But look at what he says. Scap Bayless work ethic, absolutely greater than Leroy's Mickey Mouse ring. I think he's starting to see the light.
B Twixt, I knew I would win you over. This is only day 3 now in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge. This is just day 3, and already you're coming on board. You're now joining the Scap Army in just the 3rd day here. I got the sense we got off on the wrong foot in like day 1. Then day 2, there was a bit of a transition, I think, going on, and now you're on board. I think it's kind of like, it's like Rocky 4 when the Russian crowd kind of turns on Drago and embraces Rocky by the end of the fight. That's the like kind of, I think, the element of what we've got, our dynamic right now, what we've got going on. But thank you, B Twix, for the super chat there, for sponsoring me in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge here. I appreciate that. And I do just want to get my man John up on that, on his super chat that he dropped me to start the party off. John is wanting to make this party go until 3 a.m. I was exhausted last night. For those of you who might not know what he's talking about here, I was beat, and we went 4 hours last night because I couldn't get off because people kept sending super chats as I was trying to sign off, and I just kept answering questions and talking. So I think that's probably what he's alluding to there. I did not get much sleep last night because after we wrapped up the Scap Live After Dark Lounge last night at roughly 2 a.m. On the East Coast where I'm at, I then did a video, which I posted this morning, early this morning. So I was up pretty early, pretty late in the night, early in the morning, however you want to cut it. And my best friend, which is a 11-pound Shih Tzu, woke me up very early for her standard 2-mile morning walk. So
right.
It's been a long day. I think we also have something here though from Tara. So I just want to give Tara a shout out. Gary, what does Tara have to say here?
Just to say, Scap, I just discovered you recently, but I am loving what you have to say. You actually know what you are talking about. They sound like a former ESPN viewer. So maybe she used to watch Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. Smith, and now she's coming over to your side.
Tara, thank you very much for sponsoring me and the Scap Live After Dark Lounge here. I appreciate you very much, and I appreciate you, a new convert. Welcome to the party, if you will. It's always good to grow the Scap following here. So I'm very humble. It's been a good playoff run so far, getting a good amount of traction. I like jumping on in these live. I like these live things. From the beginning of me doing this, I've always been involved in my comments. Whenever I post a video, I get in there for like an hour and a half after the video's up, and I interact with people because I love talking to you guys, and I'm just so thankful to have you supporting me. So I figured that I was reluctant to do the live because I don't know much about technology. I don't understand streaming things and technology and stuff like that because I'm old, but moderator Gary, shout out to him, has been berating me for like a full year now and telling me why I need to be on these lives. And once I got on, I really love doing it. I love reaching you guys, more frequently and more directly, and just kind of talking, head to head with you guys. So Tara, I appreciate you joining the party here and sponsoring the party. So thank you, Tara, and please stay on board. I hope to see more of you here in the Scap after dark lounge here. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Tara. Now our next one, Nick Tri-State. Thank you for the 2-piece. Most skilled baller ever, Kobe, at the whole chat. So he is challenging anyone in this chat to give him some type of pushback, which he won't be able to, because what he said is facts.
Nick Tri-State, thank you very much for the little sponsorship here, but also for your comment, because I have to agree. Like, to me, Kobe is the most skilled. Like, what could this guy not do? Like, the handle, the shooting, the contested shot-making abilities, the fact that he was the best defensive player at his position for the vast majority of his peak era. I mean, to me, Kobe Bryant is the most skilled. And that is, quite frankly, that is one of my major arguments in pushing back on, how much more skilled this era is, how much better this era is than other eras, because Kobe Bryant existed in the lowest scoring, slowest paced dead ball era in NBA history. So his statistical accomplishments really don't look like they should if you transferred him into today's day and age. So Kobe's one of my preeminent foils that I use to combat today's players and kind of make my case against them. So Nick Tri-State, thank you very much. We will get back to the questions for sure. I just want to update everybody who is just joining. The second half has begun in this game 7, and it just looks like the Rockets are outmatched. It just looks like they are not ready for this stage. We'll see if they have the ability to get back in it. They're down 13. They were just down 15 a moment ago. And we'll see. It looks like Schengen just made a basket to cut that lead back to 13. But Golden State has been in command by and large of this series, this game tonight. They looked like they were in command of the series, I should say, but they let it slip away, ceded control to Houston, after they went up 3-1. But it looks like Golden State might have the ship righted, and they're going to use that veteran know-how, their playoff mettle to find a way to get this series home. But we'll keep an eye on it. If you guys want to chat about that,
I got to push back a little. I'm going for Golden State, but I think Houston's – I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're right. But I just think Houston being at home and being younger, they're going to have a little more energy, and they seem to be getting some momentum. And I don't know why Draymond Green just attempted a 3-point shot.
I saw that. Yeah, Draymond Green shot a 3 from the corner.
I don't understand.
Yeah, it's puzzling. Though he is, Gary, I have to say, he's 2 of 5 from the 3-point line tonight. Oh, I thought he was going to rip another one right there. Gave it back wisely. Gave it back up to Buddy Hield.
He tossed up a brick.
And Gary, you know what? You might be onto something here. Obviously, look, in the playoffs in general, this is to me like you really shorten the rotations. Coaches generally cut the rotations down, even if they go 10, 11 deep during the regular season. Typically, that's shortened, especially the further you advance into the playoffs. So neither team is really getting a lot of bench production right now. Right. I think there's 6 points right now for the Rockets, bench points, and only 3 points right now off the bench from Kevon Looney for the Warriors. So I think both coaches are going to play this second half pretty tight to the vest, try to ride their starters as much as possible. Schengen, man, just blew an and one. That was an easy and one.
Yeah, he's mad at himself
that with a chance to cut it back to 10. But we will keep an eye on the game, certainly. But let's see here. I think we've got a question here, Gary. What's this question?
They make an interesting point here. Lovaris M for 5 with the 5-piece. Thank you for that. Hey, Scap, LeBron is not going to retire when Jeannie Buss is paying him $40+ million a year. So please scrutinize Jeannie Buss and the Lakers organization too. Fair point.
Go ahead, Gary.
I just said fair point.
Yeah, Lavaris M. Thank you for sponsoring the Scap Live After Dark Lounge. I appreciate that, and a very, very great point, a very valid point. Let me just take a deep breath here because I'm going to get into this Genie Bus topic. I'm glad that you brought this up, Lavaris. But it's an 11-point game now, 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. By the way, just to reset that. Let me take that down for a second, Lavaris, because I just want to be on screen here while I discuss the bummish antics of the Bus family. Pretty much after Dr. Jerry Bus gave controlling interest over to his village idiot son, Jim Bus, a complete nincompoop moron, who this freaking guy, Jim Bus, he had the bright idea in, I think it was 2012, rather than get Jeannie's current boyfriend, Phil Jackson, to come back and coach the Lakers, to coach Kobe Bryant. They got Dwight Howard that year, if you remember. They had Pau Gasol already. Steve Nash came on board too that year. And Phil Jackson was ready to come and coach that team. They were haggling over contractual stipulations and stuff. But Jimmy, little idiot boy Jimmy that he was, decided to go with Mike D'Antoni instead of Phil Jackson, which was a complete and absolute joke. D'Antoni had no control of that team, no control of Kobe Bryant. And what happened? The team mired in injuries that year. Pau Gasol, I think, missed about 30 games. Steve Nash missed about 30 games. And Kobe Bryant had to literally push himself to exhaustion to drag that team into the playoffs. He played 46 minutes a game for the last 8 games of his regular season. He played 78 games that year. So in his 70th through 78th game, he played in 46 minutes per game. In his 17th season, of course, we know what happened because of all of the accrual of minutes that he was getting at that advanced stage of his career. He ruptured his Achilles, essentially ended his career. I put that squarely on the village idiot buffoon, Jim Bus. And me and other Laker fans were so disgusted with Jimmy Bus and the direction of the team that we were waiting for years for Jeannie to usurp control away and seize control from Jimmy. And she finally did. And things haven't gotten much better under the guidance of Jeannie Bus because she brought in LeBron. That was her big. And now, Lavaris, let me get back to you because you put 40+ million. Yeah, that's actually, Lavaris, just to be clear, 52 million this year. I think he's got a 52 million player option next year. So she's paying him 50+ million, while, of course, acquiescing, genuflecting, boot licking, jock sniffing, whatever you want to call it, all the way through the end of his career with him, doing anything he wants, drafting Bronny, installing JJ. So the Lakers are a laughing stock, and they got there because of putrid, inept ownership. And this is just really a microcosm for a bigger issue, which is facing, I think, many different industries. Just nepotism and people just not even nepotism, but overall undeserving people being in situations of power or having great power over something based on, for whatever reason, no merit whatsoever. And we see it a lot in sports where some idiot kid or group of kids take over from some great owner that actually built what they had, built their empire the right way, and then ceded it over to their loser children, offspring, and then they flush their organizations down the toilet. That's what we're seeing right now, Lavara. So great question overall, and thank you for sponsoring Scap Live After Dark.
All right. And now we have.
Hang on, before we get to T Perfect, which shout out T Perfect. What's up, brah? T Perfect, I kind of know. We interact. He's a part of Goat James Kingdom, so he pitched me to be on Goat James Kingdom, which I went on. I just want to update this score. The Rockets, the young scrappy Rockets, are fighting back in this game. We're under 8 minutes now. It is a 7-point game, and oh man, Steph Curry still with just 3 points on 1 of 7. This is gonna be the worst of bad looks for little Steph Curry if he ends game 7 playing at this level and they lose to a very young, unproven Rockets team. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Like I said, we're about getting to the midway point of the third quarter. So, keep an eye on that. And now back to T Perfect. I just want to give him a shout out. What's up, bro?
And he is hurling insults at me, saying since I didn't know this answer off the top of my head that I don't know the game. So T Perfect, thank you for the 5-piece. But I do know the game, but I'm not an encyclopedia like Scap. Scap is a walking, talking encyclopedia of NBA knowledge. So that's why he is running this and I'm helping him because he is the encyclopedia. So he asks, and I thought this was a very good question, by the way, T Perfect. Name the only consensus top 10 player in league history to score less than 16 points per game in the finals while shooting under 40% while still winning the chip.
So now I'm guessing he's talking about Bill Russell.
Oh, well,
wait. I mean, if there's other consensus people,
T Perfect, it seems as if Scap here doesn't know the exact answer off the top of his head either. So that's my point. Instead of hurling an insult at me, you asked a very good question. Scap, is this not a very good question?
Well, I guess I have to ask, like, how are we defining consensus top 10?
That's what I was asking him. I was clarifying, and then he said, well, you obviously don't know the game since you don't know the answer. And I'm like, whoa.
So now because I think it might be a trick question because again, this is off the top of my head. I know Kobe was he was under 16, I think, in the 2000 series against the Pacers. Lakers.
That's what he said the answer is.
He was under 16, so I would have to know what his field goal shooting percentage was. So Kobe might be the answer as well, if that's
it is.
Okay. Because I did know that he averaged he averaged 15 points per game is what Kobe Bryant averaged in the 2000 series against the Pacers. So, but again, this is a trick question because was Kobe a consensus top 10 player when he was 21 years old in that Indiana Pacers series when he played in there? Was Kobe Bryant the best player on the Lakers in that series? Was Kobe Bryant the best player in the series overall? Of course he wasn't. He was 21 years old. I myself will concede Shaquille O'Neal was by far the league dog in that first series with Indiana. And also, finally, this is where the big asterisk comes in here for T Perfect. Kobe Bryant played like 7 minutes in the one game, and I believe scored 0 points. He had either 2 points or 0 points before Jalen Rose stuck his foot under Kobe intentionally, rolled his foot, and Kobe, who is as tough as any basketball player that has ever existed, who plays through everything, who routinely would go through injuries that would have sidelined guys for weeks, not even missing a game. Kobe was so hurt by that injury, rolling his foot over Jalen Rose on that cheap slide under by Rose, that Kobe missed a full game in the NBA Finals in that series. So, Kobe, but forgetting about the full game he missed, you count the game where he rolled the foot and played only 7 minutes and scored 0 points or 2 points. I don't know if you want to look that up, maybe, Gary. If not, don't worry about it because I am right about that. He played roughly 7 minutes and scored 0 or 2 points. So that will really depreciate your average when you're counting in 0 points in a game in a series where you play only 6 games. So that is an absolute garbage question, T Perfect, by you. I will not revoke my shout out to you. Still shout out, but that is a BS trick, a smarmy asterisky question because remove the 0 point game where Kobe got hurt and didn't play at all, and he scored more than 16 points for that series. But still, thank you for sponsoring the Scap After Dark Lounge, and we can also I'll check. Maybe if we have some downtime, I'll check it out. Bill Russell also, I'm certain, scored less than 16 points per game in a final series at some at one of the points of his illustrious finals career, where he won more than anybody else, surrounded by 8 Hall of Famers, I guarantee he was under 16 points in probably multiple finals rounds. But we could check that. I'm not sure if he shot under 40% in any of them. I would guess that probably he didn't. But I know that he never shot over 50% in any single season of his career. T Perfect, I would say great question, but it wasn't. That was a trick BS question. But still, thank you for sponsoring me here on the Scap Live After Dark Lounge.
This is a good one. And this is something I've discussed with you myself. Thank you, the Fam God, a 5-piece. What's your problem with Curry? He won multiple rings without super teams and has stayed loyal even during the bad years. No complaining, just winning.
Yeah, I think my problem with Steph Curry, the Fam God, thank you very much for sponsoring me here on the Scap Live After Dark Lounge. I think my problem with Steph Curry really is the consensus of where he is rated at. My major issue with him is that he is overrated. So here on Scap Attack, for those of you who are new here or maybe don't exactly know what I do, my whole like mission or brand or whatever is that I pretty much attack overrated players while giving credit and praise to underrated players. And Steph Curry, to me, I don't hate Steph Curry. I don't have a problem per se with him, his game, or what he's done in his career. My major issue with him is that he is overrated in the sense that I see Mount Rushmore type conversations percolating around him. I see people saying that Steph Curry is better than Kobe Bryant. Steph Curry got those 2 rings, which we don't need to dig into the veracity of those 2 rings with Kevin Durant. I mean, again, he would have never done it if LeBron didn't make it trendy, fashionable, and okay to do it. Steph would have never done it. So, and Durant never would have done it. But still, those 2 rings count as little as any ring as I can possibly imagine. Like, you had a 73-win team and you added Kevin Durant onto it. Like, congratulations. You destroyed the NBA. Like, you should have. Like, I'm not giving you any credit whatsoever. I discredit, disparage, and marginalize LeBron James, all 4 of his rings. I don't think really any of them count in my estimation. So 2 of Steph Curry's rings don't count right off the bat. So that's 2 rings that don't count. The other 2, look, this is Steph. I cannot impugn Steph necessarily for just being lucky and being situationally lucky, which he absolutely undeniably was. Look at the other 2 rings that he has. The first championship run in 2015, 2014-2015.
Yep.
That run was one of the worst runs I have seen in the Western Conference in 25 years. I think they play. I want to say they played off the top of my head. They played Memphis. I want to say in the first round. They played, I believe, Houston in the West Finals. It's escaping me who they played in the. Let
me look it up.
Okay, look it up for me. I can tell you who they did not have to play though at that time, when the teams were really good. Oklahoma City. I think KD was hurt for the year. And the Thunder, I don't even think were in the playoffs that year. They dodged the San Antonio Spurs, who were obviously still very good at that time as well. So, I mean, I believe it was Memphis and Houston were 2
I got it, Corey.
Go ahead.
In the 2015 Western Conference playoffs, the Golden State Warriors defeated the following teams. The New Orleans Pelicans in the first round.
Okay.
Then Memphis Grizzlies in the second round, and the Houston Rockets.
So there you go. Memphis and Houston. I got 2 of the teams. I missed New Orleans. So what an easy, pitiful run that was.
And a Kyrie-less.
New Orleans, Memphis, and little game James Harden pan pooper without Chris Paul, by the way, at that point. That was just little game James in diarrhea mode in the Western Conference Final. That was the run. That's the big run of Steph Curry without Kevin
Durant. Kyrie-less in the finals.
And I'm getting to that. So when they get through that pitiful Western Conference gauntlet, that I can't even say gauntlet, that pitiful Western Conference cupcake stroll. They get into the NBA Finals, and I can't believe that Steph Curry is going to make me do this, but I'm going to give LeBron James some semblance of credit here. LeBron James was already without, I think he was already without Kyrie, or Kevin. One of them was missing already. I think Kevin Love was already hurt. Kyrie then got hurt in the first game, the first half of the first game for the whole series. So both Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving both missed the whole series in that NBA Finals series. The best player other than LeBron was like Matthew Dellavedova or something on that team. And yet the Cavaliers had a 2-1 series lead in that series. It took the Warriors 6. So a pitiful little Western Conference run. And I cannot blame Steph Curry. It's not his fault. He got lucky. But that was one of the luckiest rings I've ever seen. They would have got smoked in 5 if Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love were in it. They would have got smoked by the Thunder if they were in the playoffs. They would have got smoked by the Spurs. They get so lucky. So that's the one ring that Steph had, right? The one. Then he recruits Durant or somehow, I don't know if Durant recruited him or whatever. They join forces. Steph steals 2 then. So these are 2 rings that don't even count. One really soft ring, in my opinion. Then we get to 2022, another easy freaking run. Gary, while I set this up and lead it in, please pull up the 2022 run because this is all off the top of my head. Okay. I believe they played in the first round the Denver Nuggets against MVP Nikola Jokic. However, Jokic was not only without Jamal Murray for that whole series, he was without Michael Porter Jr. for the whole series too. So Steph Curry gets to play Nikola in the first round, and Jokic has neither of his top 2 players. They then get into the second round playing the Memphis Grizzlies, who are working them actually. Ja Morant is crapping on Steph Curry, and then Ja Morant gets hurt and misses like 3 games in that series. So then correct me if I'm wrong, Gary, by the way, just interrupt me if I'm missing any of these. So they then get through Memphis because Ja Morant gets hurt because Ja Morant was destroying Steph Curry head to head. So that they wouldn't have even gotten through that. First of all, Jokic would have taken them out if he had MPJ and Jamal. And then Memphis would have taken them out if Ja Morant didn't go out. Then they get into the West Finals and play very young, unproven Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. That was their West run in 2022. So again, another extremely easy, lucky little run by Steph Curry. He then gets into, am I wrong on any of those, Gary?
No, it was Denver in round 1, Memphis round 2, and the Mavericks in the conference finals.
Completely right on that run. Then they get into the NBA Finals, and who do they get? The Boston Celtics, who were by far the better team, and the Boston Celtics were kicking their ass in the first 3 games, up 2-1, and Jason Tatum just went poo-poo mode. Like Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtic choke gag artists that they are until last year just imploded and self-destructed, and then the Warriors won that. But still, even if we want to credit them for winning that one tough series against the Celtics, those are the 4 championship runs of Steph Curry. So I'm sorry. I'm just not fawning all over these playoff runs by Steph Curry. I'm just not impressed by them.
I've got some pushback.
Go ahead.
I want to chime in, Mr. Scap.
Go ahead, Gary, moderator.
Let me ask you this. In 2015, how did Golden State form that team? Did they not build it organically through the draft?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yes. Okay. Sure. And did the Cavaliers, how did they form that team? Well, LeBron joined up with a super team with Kyrie and Kevin Love, who we shouldn't have. So what we had was an organic Warriors team against a LeBron regular team. And LeBron's regular team got smoked when he didn't cheat the system and join up with a stacked super team. Now it's on a level playing field.
I don't think so. Matthew Dellavedova is not a real second.
No, I agree. But
while Steph Curry and Kevin Love are cheating and unfair, and I'll give you that, but Matthew Dellavedova is not a second best player. Like Klay Thompson and so anyway, I don't look. I got a little worked up there, Gary moderator.
That's good. You're good.
But because I do not dislike Steph. I don't hate Steph. But I do. I look at the champions. I look at the context of the rings that he won, and I just don't think they stack up to, certainly not Kobe Bryant, who had, sure, he had Shaquille O'Neal in 3 of his rings, but they were also playing 50-win teams every round. Like they were playing this the great Spurs team. Like they had extremely difficult competition and not a very good team, quite frankly. After it was a big 2 of Kobe and Shaq, and then Derek Fisher was their second leading scorer in 2 of those 3 rings. And the 2 rings Kobe won with Pau Gasol as his only lead player against. He went to 3 straight finals with just Pau Gasol against 11 of the 12 teams Kobe Bryant played in that run were 50-win plus opponents. So crazy opponents with nowhere near as good of a supporting cast as Steph Curry had. Kobe Bryant is an exponentially better scorer than Steph Curry. He's an exponentially better defender. He's won exponentially better rings. It isn't close. Why do I get worked up about Steph Curry? Why do I get loud and agitated and aggravated about him and talk a little trash on him? Because I see far too many people out there in social media and in the mainstream media insinuating that Steph Curry is on a same footing as Kobe Bryant somehow or above Kobe Bryant. It's ridiculous. It ain't close. It's not close, not at all. So that's the reason I think really just consensus rank and overrating, I think, of that by that consensus of Steph Curry.
And it's not that I'm disagreeing with anything you said. What I'm actually pointing out is that it's so great to see an organic team come together and foil LeBron's plans of cheating the system with a stacked up super team. That's what I'm just pointing out. I'm really good because that helps destroy the media's agenda to prop up LeBron as the GOAT.
And just to wrap it full circle, fam god, that is why I don't hate Steph Curry. What my problem with Steph Curry, to answer your question here on this super chat. Thank you very much, by the way, for the donation. So, but that is my problem with Steph Curry. My problem is where other people are ranking him. And just to catch us up real fast on that, it was just a 3-point game with 2 minutes to go. We're now under 2 minutes in this game 7. Speaking of Steph Curry, Rockets Warriors winner take all. We're at the 120 mark of the third quarter, so we are progressing towards the fourth quarter. 66-60 now, Warriors. So Rockets are hanging around. And again, just to update you on the babyface assassin Steph Curry and his pursuit of, again, because look, if this guy wins a 5th ring somehow, I don't think they're going to get close to it this year. But if he would, obviously everyone's going to be saying GOAT conversations for Steph. So that is my problem ultimately in a nutshell about Steph. In this game 7, 3 of 10 shooting, 2 of 7 from the 3-point line, 8 total points now as we are under a minute to go in the third quarter. So Steph Curry unequivocally, undoubtedly, undeniably being bailed out and rescued right now. So,
and here's something else to add to what you're saying with Kobe Bryant and Steph Curry. When and just for the record, I don't buy into the narrative. A lot of people say, was Steph Curry ruined the league because he shot the threes? Steph Curry was playing to his strength, was to shoot threes. Whatever the rest of the league does is no effect to Steph. That has nothing to do with anything. But when Kobe played and 3-pointers were not shot so prevalently like they are now, well, if Kobe and Steph played in the same era, you would say right now, well, yeah, Steph Curry's a better shooter than Kobe, sure. But think about if they did play in the same era, what would Kobe be doing in the offseason? He'd be practicing threes like crazy in this era to try to be on par with Steph. And his mindset would be like, well, I'm going to become an even better 3-point shooter than Curry. And who knows what could have been, but Kobe didn't need to do that in his era. So to say Curry's the greatest shooter of all time, well, Kobe didn't need to practice at that time the way that he did, and neither did Larry Bird. Those guys may have surpassed Curry possibly.
that's not the only thing that spacing or 3-point shooting does. It also promotes spacing and just overall floor spacing and spacing underneath the basket. Like Kobe, who was an attacker of the rim, who did a lot of his work in the intermediate areas of the floor and the mid-range. Like, there was no spacing when Kobe Bryant was playing, just clogged lanes and difficult sledding underneath the basket. So I think if Kobe was on teams that shot the ball like Steph Curry was on, there would be more room for him to operate around the court just in general. But yeah, good point, moderator Gary. We got something in here from Mark that I just wanted to spot shadow here. Gary, go ahead and pose that question to me and the chat from Mark. Thank you, Mark, for the donation to the Scap Live After Dark Lounge. By the way, I appreciate you.
This is such a good, interesting question because I have racked my brain with this as well. I honestly, I don't know where to put LeBron, to be honest. Is LaFraud even top 10 of all time?
So, Mark, you're probably kicking open some shit here, but we're gonna pour into this. We'll keep an eye on this game 7. There is 23 seconds left. There's some kind of an official review going on right now, so a stoppage. 8-point game heading into the fourth quarter. Golden State still holding the advantage there. They've basically been up all game long to this point, so we'll definitely keep an eye on that. But is LaFraud even top 10 all time? So this is a very tricky question. I think here's the problem. Here's the problem with LeBron in my estimation. He's an enigma because from a totality resume standpoint, it's a pretty easy case to make. I think that he's top 10 all time. He's the number 1 all-time scorer in both playoff and regular season history. 4 league MVPs, 4 championships, 4 finals MVPs. The list goes on and on of the counting stats, the longevity, accrued accolades, and media bestowed awards. To me, though, something that I factor in, look, I think top 10s are basically kind of somewhat in the eye of the beholder. So, like, what do you really value? And what are your the things that you really gauge and measure these players by? To me, primarily, I look for two-way players. So guys who were elite on both ends of the ball. Not all of my top 10 were elite two-way players, but the majority of them were elite two-way players. And then how much did you impact winning? How challenging were the championships that you won? Because how do you gauge how impactful you are in winning? Well, by what kind of a supporting cast you have around you, what kind of odds you overcome, and challenges that you go through and that you defy to get to your championships. So, like, those are things that I measure and weigh in. That's why, like, Hakeem Olajuwon, this is a great example. Is Hakeem Olajuwon a consensus top 10 player based on resume? Probably not. For me individually, though, my take is that Hakeem is a top 5 all-time player because, to me, he's one of the best 3 or 4 best two-way players ever, and he won 2 of the most challenging championships of all time. When I look at LeBron James, he won trash championships. They were just undeniable, garbage, easy, stack-the-deck championships. So I look at LeBron ultimately more like Karl Malone. To be totally fair, Karl Malone is a great player. I'm not taking anything away from him. He's 3rd all time in NBA history in scoring. I'm paraphrasing off the top of my head here, these statistics, but about 25, 10, and like 3 per game. 25 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists per game for his career for Karl Malone. 2 league MVPs. His resume looks like he's a fringe top 10 player. He ain't in my top 10 because he never won. But he also stayed put in Utah till he was like 40 and then went to the Lakers. To me, Karl Malone, basically, LeBron James is Karl Malone if Karl Malone went and joined up with 2 other top 20 players in the NBA in his prime. So for me, I think you can make a case. I know it sounds like hating. And I know some people out there will suggest LeBron's like not top 50 or not top 100. I'm not going to go that far, but I will go so far as to say I think there is definitively a case, a viable, incredible case to be made that LeBron James is not top 10 because, quite frankly, he didn't win those challenging titles, not one time. Had he won one time, 1 year, where he won a legitimately challenging championship, I think maybe you can make a really poignant and just like a slam dunk kind of a case for him being top 10. But since, in my opinion, in 22 years now and counting, he still has never proven it. Well, there are at least 10 guys that have, in my opinion. So for me, I think when I began this YouTube journey 2 years ago, I did, while I've always been an outspoken advocate against LeBron James, even before I had a platform, more of a public platform that I have now. I did, even then, despite the fact that I was an outspoken critic of LeBron, I did have him somewhere in the top 10. But the more work I've done the last 2 years since starting this channel and studying more eras, every era, the lower LeBron has become. So he is now getting to it's gotten to the point where I think I do have him just on the fringe of the 10, probably I think out of the top 10 ultimately, just outside of it looking in for me. So great question, Mark. Just to bring that one full circle, is LaFraud even top 10 all time? If you're asking Scap here, the answer I think at this point of my life and in my studies on this would be no. So great question, and many thanks for the super. And Gary, real quick, I just wanna update the game here. The Warriors have now, we're at the 11-minute mark in the fourth quarter, and they have now increased to a 10-point lead.
Nice.
And kudos, congratulations to Steph Curry. Shout out to him. He just broke double digits, 10 points on 4 of 11 shooting tonight. So
well, now's when it matters. Now's when it matters.
Yep. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what Steph. Yep, he just hit a 3. So, all right, he just hit a layup, maybe a layup and a 3. So we'll see. It looks like they're in control right now. They're now up 13 points with 10 minutes and 48 seconds remaining. So it looks like they've been, the Rockets have kind of been teetering back and forth, hanging in this game, but. It looks like we're going to get that Minnesota Golden State I hope so. Matchup.
Awesome. Guess what? Guess who's back from the correctional facility? Our favorite correctional officer, John Rackcliffe, which brings up an excellent point. Probably not the best channel for this, but why don't you ever talk playoff hockey? It's a gift. Go Maple Leafs. I love the Maple Leafs. But anyways,
yeah, I love football. I watch football all year long. I quite frankly, I might even follow the NFL even more closely than the NBA because I am a avid fantasy football player. I'm in a very highly competitive fantasy football league. I mean, it's like if any of you have ever seen I think it was on FX, the show like maybe 15 years ago, The League. That I am in basically that. So it highly competitive, a bunch of, middle to late 30s to mid 40-year-old guys who take this thing way too seriously.
Right.
So I really hang on the NFL. I do want to get more into the NFL. John, thank you for the continued support of the channel. To answer your question, though, on why I don't talk more playoff hockey, I do love playoff hockey. I watch the NHL playoffs. I've been a big fan my whole life. Again, I usually talk about this. Now, this is my third night in a row doing a live stream, and I will mention it for a third straight night. I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Of course, I grew up with Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr, those teams that won the 2 Stanley Cups when I was young. And then, of course, they have the great Sidney Crosby there now, too. So, I definitely keep an eye. I keep a finger to the pulse of the NHL, but really not during the regular season much. In the playoffs, though, I do start paying attention. I'm from Pittsburgh. I don't live there any longer. I live in the Florida area. So Florida actually, believe it or not, has some great hockey teams. Obviously, a couple of the last two different champions in the last 5 years. So great question, John. Maybe when I expand my operation and start trying to branch out and talk about more diverse things, John, maybe I will keep you in mind and add playoff hockey to my repertoire. So great question, and many thanks, John, for yet again sliding into the Scap Live After Dark sponsorship realm here. I appreciate that.
And these are the comments that we really like. Lee Carolyn with the 5-piece, appreciate that. Scap, love the videos. GM is in my top 3, but your content is still hilarious. And here's the biggest compliment one can pay you. You have at least convinced me that Kobe is better than LeBron.
Lee Carolyn, thank you so much for the kind words. These are like my favorite comments. This is like these things, like these just warm my heart so much when I hear either younger people that come in and say, "Oh, Scap, thank you so much for letting me know or teaching me about how great Kobe Bryant was." And then really, I do shockingly hear a lot from LeBron fans that follow me. Many of them just follow me to hate on me and make negative commentary or troll me in my comments, which I like, and I mix it up back and forth and respond to those comments. And I welcome your comments here, obviously, as well. But a lot of the LeBron fans, at least a decent percentage, say something along the lines, of what Lee's saying, or I love LeBron, but still your videos are hilarious, and I love your videos. But if I can even change one person's mind out there that Kobe is better than LeBron, then I feel like I've done my job. And I hear this more frequently than you would think, that people have changed their idea or the consensus that they have on LeBron and Kobe based on my content. So that is a very humbling, kind of acknowledgement for me. And it's a very rewarding thing for me to know. So Lee Carolyn, thank you very much for letting me know that, and for your kind donation as well. And mostly for this comment though, because I love that comment. So yeah, I would, if I'd like to leave that up more. Maybe I'll just come back up and drop that, show that again a little bit later and throughout the course of this live stream. And real quick, just before we get to the next one, Rocket's still hanging in. They've cut it now to 9. So, we'll see what transpires here. Steph is, striking back. He's looking better in this fourth quarter. So, we'll keep an eye. We'll keep you updated, and we'll discuss the game when it goes final. In the meantime, we'll keep answering some questions, though. What's next, Gary?
South Park GDP with a 20-piece. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Scap, love your channel and happy for your success. I hope Jokic's supporting cast shows up for him the rest of the way. He deserves his flowers. Yes.
South Park GDP, thank you very much for your very generous and kind donation sponsorship to me here in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge. I really appreciate that. And thank you so much for supporting the channel, daily, tuning in and watching my stuff. I really, really, really do appreciate that. And for supporting Nikola Jokic. I get a lot of Jokic slander on my channel, and I get a pretty good bit of slander myself, calling me a Jokic jock sniffer. But ultimately, I just like to see true great players rewarded. True great players that do things the right way, that don't cheat the game, that don't cheat themselves. Players like Kevin Durant, LeBron James, guys like that have cheated the game, ruined the game to some degree. Nikola Jokic is the epitome of class, dignity, respect for himself, his teammates, his organization, the sport of basketball, and he wins the right way. He plays the right way. He doesn't beg for help. He doesn't throw his teammates under the bus. He doesn't demand trades. The guy just puts his head down and keeps playing hard despite the fact he has never played with a single all-star. Does Jamal Murray have big games intermittently from time to time throughout his career? Does he hit big shots from time to time? He does, but I need more consistency from him.
Yes.
So to echo South Park GDP's point here, I sure do hope that that his supporting cast shows up the rest of the way too, because if his guys play like they are capable of, like they play up to the standard that they played in 2 of the games in the last series, I think that maybe the Denver Nuggets do stand a chance in the next series, and that would absolutely shock the basketball world if that were to transpire. So it will be interesting. We could talk about that game if you guys want to. That game 1 starts tomorrow night. Thunder and Nuggets, game 1 of that series. Actually, I do want to check something out real quick. I can keep talking while I do it. I just want to see exactly what the line is. 9.5. Oh my goodness. That is a monster line. 9.5 points tomorrow is the open. The Denver Nuggets are getting 9.5. So the Thunder favored tomorrow by nearly double-digit points in game 1 of that series. So the odds makers are giving the Denver Nuggets no shot in that series. No surprise there. So we'll see what they have to say about it. They're on 1-day rest. The Thunder are coming off, I think, 8 days rest now. So, we'll see. Rest versus rust, I guess. We'll see that play out tomorrow night, I believe at 9:30. I might have to get in here again for a 4th straight day and talk about that one. But South Park GDP, many thanks to you.
And Ryan just wanted to let me know someone was spamming. I appreciate that. I took care of that. And he also wanted me to shout out to the Rockets. Go Rockets. Yeah, it's not looking very good for them. I thought at the beginning of the second half they had a nice spark, and I honestly thought they were going to wear the Warriors down. But come the fourth quarter, the Warriors have turned it up, and it looks like that's going to be the way the game's going to finish out.
Yeah, I mean, it's right now we're at the 9.5 minute mark of the 4th, and the Rockets have scored 4 points so far. So yeah, they're gonna have to get to work. Ryan Tyler VO, thank you for the donation, but thank you for letting us know too. Thanks for helping to patrol the chat, the live. I see we have over 1,000 comments now in about an hour in there. So guys, welcome in. If you are just joining us here. Welcome into the Scap Live After Dark Lounge here. And thank you guys for your continued engagement here and interaction. Really appreciate it. We're just watching this Game 7 winner take all being played out in Houston between the Rockets and Warriors. The winner of this moves on to play the Minnesota Timberwolves in the next round. Should be a juicy little matchup really either way. I think the Warriors would present more of a titillating storyline. So
yes.
I am kind of rooting for that. But Ryan, thank you very much for your kind donation.
And Graham with a 10-piece, thank you for that. And he's right on point. Not to mention LaChina lost finals. He easily should have won. 2011 being, in my opinion, and I think our opinions as well, the most embarrassing finals loss of all time.
Yeah, Gary Moderator, good point. And Graham, thank you. Good question or good comment, I suppose I should say. And thank you, Graham, for your generous donation here. I appreciate that. And not only is 2011 the worst finals loss, in my humble opinion, it is the biggest choke job in the history of organized professional sports. In any other sport, at least let's say the sports I know, the 4 major professional North American sports, the juggernaut, unbeatable super team Miami Heat, where LeBron James, who was first in the NBA the year before the team up in box plus minus, player efficiency rating, value over replacement, and win share, teamed up with Dwayne Wade, who was number 2 in the NBA the year before their team up in all 4 of those metrics. And then they recruited Chris Bosh, who was top 20 in all of those metrics. They took that into the NBA Finals after dominating the Eastern Conference run-up. They took a 2-1 series lead against the one all-star led Dallas Mavericks team, whose second best player essentially was a 6'2", 33-year-old journeyman bench player in Jason Terry. And despite being up 2-1 and having a 13-point lead, in game. So it would have been game 4 to take a 3-1 lead. They were up 13 late in the third to go up 3-1. They blew that game. And in that game, LeBron, I believe, had 8 points for the whole game on 3 of 11 shooting from the field in like 45 minutes. They lose that game to get equalized, and they end up losing the series 4-2. So they don't win another game after that. The biggest and undeniable diarrhea moment in sports history, LeBron James in 2011. In my opinion, the GOAT case for him was over in 2011. It ended literally 15 years ago. So all of this back and forth, all of the minutia and the positioning and the begging from him and his camp about how he's the GOAT for the 15 years that have followed that series, well, it's all for naught, because to me, the conversation was over back then. Like, he was in his 7th or 8th year, I think, at the time, and he was a back-to-back league MVP at that point. To lose that series in that fashion, it delegitimizes, it disqualifies him from ever playing a part in any legitimate GOAT conversation for the rest of time. So shout out to you, Graham, and your kind donation to the Scap Live After Dark Lounge. And great point on that comment about the 2011 choke job that LeBron authored there.
This is a very good one. B. Schoolfield with a 5-piece. Thank you for that. Scap, can a terrible leader, no moves, not clutch, mentally weak, and shies from adversity be a top 15 guy? Call me crazy, but I would take Drexler. And Schoolfield, I am guessing, for clarity's sake, you're not saying that Clyde Drexler are those things above, right? Because I don't.
No, I think, Gary, moderator Gary, if I have to read the tea leaves here, I think B. Schoolfield here. By the way, thank you, B. Schoolfield, for the donation. But I think that he might be talking about the guy I just finished talking about a minute ago.
So, LeBron.
In LeBron. So, yeah, I don't know. Would I put Clyde Drexler above LeBron James? I don't think so, B. Schoolfield. But, I did just, if you're just joining me here, I did, for really the first time, I think, clarify at any point. I talk negatively about LeBron often, but I really didn't clarify exactly where I have him. And I still really haven't, but I did speculate earlier in this live, if you are just joining us, that he is not in my top 10 list. I don't think at this point in time. So can he be top 15? B. Schoolfield, I don't know about that. I'd have to really sit down and think about that. I think you can make a case, though, for him to not be top 10. Drexler, I don't know. That might be a bit of a stretch, but hell, I would welcome it. I would entertain hearing that case. If you want to shoot me some points, Gary, keep an eye out on that if he wants to clarify something about that maybe, and make his case for Drexler. Before we get to the next comment here, I do just want to take a look at the game and update it. We've got a 10-point game with 5.5 minutes to go. So, and only 72 points for the Houston Rockets on their home floor in a game 7 with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. So the Warriors are getting it done on the defensive end of the ball here. Nice. Steph Curry, by the way, all of you people that are out here and giving me a hard time about Steph Curry, kudos to Steph Curry. He has shown up now in the fourth quarter. I think I want to say he was 3 of 10 for 8 points when the third quarter ended. He now has 17 points. So I don't know if that's right, but that would mean he has 11 of the 12 points for the Warriors in the fourth quarter. So, the baby face shows up when needed most. So congratulations to Steph Curry. It looks like they're going to get it done. And it looks like he's going to get it done for them in the fourth quarter. So we could talk about that when it officially goes final, though. But Gary, what's up next?
Yeah, and just to what you're just saying, I like Drexler, but I'm not sure if you're asking this, but I wouldn't say he's a top 15 of all time. But he's good. He's kind of like a dollar store Jordan. if you will. He's very good, but not top 15, not close to a top 15 in my opinion. He is top 75, isn't he, Scap? Is he?
He is. Drexler is top 7.
Yeah.
I think actually Drexler's top 50. In fact, I don't think I know.
Top 50.
Drexler is top 50. Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember him. So good with Portland and then helping Hakeem in 95.
Correct, which a lot of people, me included, love Hakeem, and I have Hakeem ranked very highly on my all-time list, and I think very highly of Hakeem. But really, people talk about both of those rings like he had no help, like those were insane, and they were both insane runs. Even getting Drexler at that deadline in 95, that run was still insanity. Like he played like nearly, I think there was one 59-win team in there, and then every other team won 60 in that run. He played the Jazz in that run, the Spurs, and Robinson, who was the MVP that year. And then when he gets in the finals, he plays Shaq and Penny in the finals. So that run was still crazy, but he did have a top 50.
I have a very embarrassing story. I actually graduated high school that year. It was 95. And I remember the Spurs were 62-20. In case any of you don't recall, I'm a huge Spurs fan. David Robinson was MVP, if I remember correctly. The Spurs were 62-20. They were favored to finally win a championship. I was so happy. And then they got annihilated by Houston. And because I was graduating high school, I had all these people around me, and they're like, good luck in the future, Gary. You know, we'd love to see your progress over the last few years. You've matured so much. And then, like, I'm at this gathering, and all these adults are around me who are so proud of me about to graduate high school. And I throw the biggest baby temper tantrum, stomping around, yelling like a child after the Rockets were dominating the Spurs. So that is my memory of the Rockets back in 95.
Yeah, I just want to touch on that, because that I was, while you were talking, I thought of the other teams. So they play, I think it was Utah in the first round, because remember the Rockets were the 6th seed that year. They played Utah in the first round, who won, I think, 60. They then played, I want to say the next one was Phoenix and Barkley, who won like 59.
Yes.
Barkley was an MVP as well. So you got Malone, who was going to be an MVP at one point. You then got Barkley, who was an MVP already at that time. Then they played the 62-win Spurs in the West Finals with that year's MVP Robinson. Then Shaquille O'Neal in the 60-win Penny Hardaway. That run is without doubt, unequivocally, the hardest single season run ever. But people do sometimes forget that the Rockets did not have a good regular season, and they got Clyde Drexler, who was still all-star caliber, he's a top 50 player, got him at the deadline. Without that acquisition, there's no way they go through that and win that without Drexler. But the 94 run with Hakeem, also insane, also a tough run. And he had Otis Thorpe was his best player on that run. So that was an absolute crazy.
Mario Ellie, Kenny Smith, wasn't it rookie Robert Horry?
I think so.
So he had a nice cast of role players, just no all-star, but a whole bunch of sharpshooters, didn't he? Vernon Maxwell. Yeah.
So we got on this run because of the Clyde Drexler comment.
Yes, that's a very good question, though.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't talk about him often. So that's why I like talking about him there. Okay, on to the next one. Medved with a 5-piece. Thank you for that. La Narcissist. And this is actually a very good point. I'm actually making a video right now pointing this out for the criticism of Rob Pelinka. I'm pointing this out. LeBron paid $52 million, which takes up 35% of cap space, and won't get a pay cut to help the team, like a Patrick Mahomes, like Tom Brady, like Tim Duncan do to help the team. Meanwhile, Russell Westbrook giving a similar you know what? I'm going to push back, Med. Russ gives a much bigger effort than LeBron. Meanwhile, Russ giving similar effort for the Nuggets on a vet minimum of $3 million.
Yeah, this is a great point, Medved. Great point. And, I often think about, like, Medved, shout out to you, by the way, for the donation as well. Thank you. Thank you for that. But, this is a good point, because LeBron really isn't about winning. I don't think he really, you could say he maybe never was about winning. But he certainly isn't about winning now. And you want to know how I know that? Because his boy confirmed as much. Like his ambassador over there at Clutch Sports, Rich Paul, his longtime confidant and bootlicker, Rich Paul, went on and did. Which, for those of you who really don't know, if you maybe know the name Rich Paul or the fact that he runs the Clutch Sports agency, which is really LeBron's agency, Rich Paul is just like a puppet regime kind of figurehead for LeBron James, I believe, in Clutch. But LeBron found Rich Paul when I believe he was right out of high school, and Rich Paul was selling jerseys out of his car trunk on the side of the road. And now he, runs Clutch Sports on LeBron's behest. But anyway, last year, if you guys remember, there was a time right around the trade deadline where news was breaking that the Warriors were sniffing around LeBron James, that the Warriors were interested in bringing LeBron James to Golden State to beat the trade deadline. And all of this news was broken and confirmed by Rich Paul. So this was a valid story. And Rich Paul, in the aftermath of that trade not going through, was making his media rounds. And he actually did an appearance on Stephen A. Smith's YouTube channel at the time. And Rich Paul, in that interview with Stephen A. Smith, basically said they declined the trade. Why? Because LeBron has nothing else to prove. Like, he's already to LeBron and to Rich Paul, he's already in the clubhouse. Like, he's already the greatest player of all time. Like, he doesn't have to win anything anymore. Like, what would going somewhere, because if he goes somewhere and loses, what would that prove? If he goes somewhere and wins, what? They don't think that he really needs to do anything else. So I think he pretty much confirmed, like, I don't have to win. I feel like winning isn't that important to me, which is why we saw when they were eliminated last year in the playoffs, we saw that nonchalant LeBron James in the postgame press conference kind of shrug it off like, it's just basketball. It's not that important, guys. It's just basketball. Right, because he doesn't care about winning. So to just seal your point here, Medved, why not take the $52 million? Like, what does it really matter? Like, why give the Lakers a discount so they can build a better team and build, put better surrounding pieces around them? Who cares, for him, because he doesn't care, obviously, about winning. Before we get into the next question, I do just want to update what's going on here in this Game 7. In case you guys are just joining us, and in case you are not following this game, it is that's a wrap. It's not quite final yet, but it is a 15-point game now officially, 94-79. Warriors up by 15 with under 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter on the road in Houston. And the baby face did come through in a big way in the fourth quarter. He's got 20 points now on 8 of 16. So he was struggling mightily throughout the vast majority of this game, but he certainly did show up when he was needed. Shout out to him. We'll see what they can do in the next round against Minnesota. Just working our way through Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy, who's still kind of nursing that injury he acquired earlier in this series. He had 20 points as well. And Buddy Hield, I think, is the big story of tonight's game for this Warriors team, because when everybody else was struggling and when nobody else really could find their shot, including Steph Curry, early on in that game, Buddy Hield was leading the way. Buddy Hield ends the game, 28 points, 10 of 13 from the field, 8 of 10 from the three-point line. He was plus 18 for the game, which is the second best plus minus of the night for the Warriors, behind only Draymond Green at plus 19. So look, maybe we got there on a different path than what we were anticipating at the beginning of this series. I was expecting the Warriors to win this game from the get-go. I thought they'd win it in 6. They certainly looked like the better team early on, and I think it was a bit of a surprise that the Rockets put up as much of a fight as they did. But ultimately, we are essentially all but finished here in this game with with about 90 seconds left to go. And what a hellacious defensive performance by the Golden State Warriors. That's my other takeaway. The fact that the Houston Rockets on their home court, a 52-win team, the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, with 90 seconds to play, have not cracked 80 points yet. So the Golden State Warriors doing it the old-fashioned way, getting it done on the defensive end tonight for the game. The Houston Rockets are under 40% shooting from the field, 38.5% from the field, and only 26% from the three-point line. Tough game for Houston. Just to close the door on them for the season, I think they're ahead of schedule, though, to be quite frank. Ime Udoka did a masterful job this year with this very, very young lineup. I think the sky is the limit for the Houston Rockets. I think Ime Udoka, who I don't really want to necessarily get into it with what happened with him in Boston. I think, though, Boston would have been a lot better off if they still had Ime Udoka there. Their loss is Houston's gain because this guy is one of the most talented young coaches out there, in my estimation. He did a hell of a job this year, and I think the Rockets are going to be massive players now moving on into the offseason. I think there's no shame in admitting and accepting the fact that they are one piece away. They have a lot of good young pieces, young assets. They have a good amount of trade assets as well at their disposal. I think they will be involved now officially that they go out in the first round in the Giannis Antetokounmpo sweepstakes that will be taking place later this summer. So we'll have to keep our eyes on that. But just tip of the cap, full round of applause to the Rockets for this season this year. I think a year at least ahead of schedule. Their season now, though, is over, whereas the Warriors live to fight another day. They had to. They put all their chips in on playoff Jimmy. 2 older players, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, into their mid-30s now. And this is, who knows how many more runs either one of these guys are going to get a look at. They now move forward into the second round to play a young, fierce, and hungry-looking Minnesota Timberwolves team that were just in the Western Conference Finals a year ago. Now Golden State stands in their way. For them getting back to that point this year, we could talk about that series. We could talk about the end of this game if you guys would like. But Gary, in the meantime, though, what do we have next here from a question standpoint?
Hey, just to point out something, as a Spurs fan, I don't like this direction the Rockets are heading. and I don't know if you just noticed, Scap, there appeared to be a Rockets player with a towel over his head, sobbing as a teammate was comforting him, which is what we said is lacking. These current guys don't care. That is a very good sign for the pulse rate of the Rockets heading forward. If you've got guys with that much passion and care, because we don't see that much anymore. How do you go from being number 3 in the lottery to a 2 seed in the playoffs in just one season? I'm not liking this as a Spurs fan.
I mean, Ime freaking Udoka, Gary moderator. That's what I'm saying. This guy really changed the dynamic there. I think he really made these guys believe, and he really brought them to this point, the 2 seed. Like I said, one year ahead of schedule. And one more point on that, they chased this 2 seed down. They were teetering between the 3-4 seed line, right, maybe for a while, but they outplayed a number of teams. Like they outplayed the Lakers down the stretch. Like they outplayed the Denver Nuggets down the stretch to seize this 2 seed. So kudos to them. And again, I think they are one piece away. Jalen Green had a great season this year. He's only 22 years old. Just looking at the principal players, the best players on this team, Alperen Şengün, he's only 22. Jalen Green's only 22, and Thompson is only 22. Like that is a scary prospect for the rest of the league. That these players are, and that this team is that good with their 3 principal players being that young. But Jalen Green, clearly the lights were too bright for him in this series. He was not ready for this stage. He entered the game tonight for the series, averaging 14 points on only 37% shooting from the field. And tonight, in a winner-take-all Game 7 at home, 3 of 8 for only 8 points. So I think if you want to look at one player in particular and point the finger at one guy in this series, Jalen Green has some maturation to do. He had a great year this year, I think, in the regular season, but he has a lot of growing up to do. People there, they comp him to maybe like I think I've seen some favorable comparisons. I'm trying to think off the top of my head who I saw something that kind of clicked and made sense. If I think about it, I'll bring it back up here. But I think Jalen Green is a guy that I'm going to look for an emergence moving on into the next season. And to me, Schengen was arguably the best player in this series for large pieces of it. He coming into tonight's game, 21 points per game, 12 rebounds, and 5 assists for him on 46% against a really difficult defensive team in the Golden State Warriors. I think you can make a case that Schengen was the best player in this series for large stretches of it. Again, he's only 22. People refer to him. I do remember the comp that I've been seeing with him. Baby Jokic is what he's being called. I think he's closer. I think he's closer to a Sabonis than in today's NBA, Domantas Sabonis, than he is to Nikola Jokic. But nonetheless, that's no slouch of a comp either, because Sabonis is a stud in his own right. So the Rockets they're going to be nasty for many years to come. They play great defense. Ime has instilled that upon them. They were one of the best defensive teams in the NBA this year. They're young, they're long on the wings, and I love their outlook. I love their future. And if they were to get a Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think they absolutely insinuate themselves immediately right into that championship dynamic, I think, for next year, the conversation of the teams that are like the top end favorites. But Gary, that's it. That's a wrap for them. And Golden State officially, the game is over, 103-89, 14-point win.
Rocket fans in here. I'm a Spurs fan, but I got to tell you, feel very optimistic. And keep this in mind, to wrap a bow around this segment, the Rockets totally overachieved, which is scary for their future.
Yeah, getting the Warriors, who many thought coming into these playoffs that the Warriors, there is a conversation going on between, is it the Warriors or is it the Clippers, like the team that possesses the best chance to push the Thunder. Like the biggest impediment to the Thunder getting into the NBA Finals, is it maybe the Clippers or is it maybe Golden State? So for this team, led by 3 22-year-olds, to take this Warriors team to a Game 7, again, just ahead of schedule. And just to put a bow on the Steph Curry thing, he ends up somehow 22 points. He had 3 points at halftime. I think he had 8 points at the end of the third quarter. He ends up with 22. He does not lead the way, though. That was Buddy Hield. Crazy game for Buddy Hield. 33 points for Buddy Hield to lead the Warriors tonight on 12 of 15 shooting from the field and 9 of 11 from the three-point line. My goodness, masterful game for Buddy Hield. And, we can get into the next round if anybody's interested in that. Minnesota. I think I favor Minnesota in that series. Top of my head moving forward now. Minnesota looks pretty frightening. They look poised to get back at least to the round that they were in last year, the Western Conference Finals. So, we'll see what that series might entail. Gary, what though? Do we have some questions? And if there are any questions coming in about,
we have a hater.
Talk about too.
We have a hater here. T Perfect is back. Our channel, the channel hater.
Yeah.
With a 2-piece. Thank you for that. Lee Carlton, who posted a candidate for the best comment of the night, by the way, spent $5 to say, I'm a casual. Well, you just spent $2, T Perfect, to say I'm a hater.
Did we miss Lee Carlton's casual comment? Did we gloss over that somehow?
Oh no, it was one you just highlighted. That was one of the best. Simply scroll up a little. It is Green. He's the one who said you helped convince him Kobe's better than LeBron, even though he's a LeBron fan. Okay, I got you. Okay, I did not see T Perfect mentioned in here, but but T Perfect comes back though at Lee Carlton. I gotta be honest, T Perfect. Thank you very much for supporting me here in the Scap
Live After Dark. But I got to side with Lee Carlton though, above you. I like Lee Carlton's comment much more, or I'm sorry, Lee Carolyn. Is that who we're talking? Are we? No. Was it Lee Carlton or Lee Carolyn? Am I getting my Lees confused?
Well, it's like Carl Jung. Well, we know who it is. Let's just say Lee.
If this is the one we're talking about, this is right. This is one of my favorite comments of the night. So if this is if this is who T Perfect is disparaging in his comment,
exactly.
I got Lee's back. I like this comment way better than your comment.
Yes. And like I said, T Perfect just spent $2 to say he's a hater.
Fair, good point. What do we Gary? So T Perfect is back in with a little hate there. Gary, what do we have next here on a question?
And by the way, I saw a comment that T Perfect followed up with in the chat that said Skap is the actual GOAT. So it's all love. He's having fun.
T Perfect, thank you very much. I appreciate that. T Perfect and I do go. We are friendly with each other. We do exchange emails and stuff off of platforms, so to speak. So yeah, I typically T Perfect and I seem to be pretty much aligned on the same page. I thought T Perfect himself was a big Kobe supporter. So yes, I am a little confused with the Kobe question coming from that Pacers 2000 series, but nonetheless. Thank you, T Perfect. All up to you as well. Bob M has something here.
This is a tough one. Thank you for the three-piece there, Bob. Better career, LeBron or Magic? Interesting discussion.
Yeah, Bob. Thanks for sponsoring the Scap Live After Dark. I have always had Magic above LeBron. By consensus, I think LeBron typically is above Magic now at this point, but Magic is still thought of very highly. Typically, I see him on Mount Rushmore's, maybe top 5. I actually do not have Magic Johnson in my top 5, but I do have him. I believe he's in my top 7, and I do have him above LeBron James. I think Magic Johnson has the best supporting cast help of any all-time great in NBA history. So, we're talking about Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on all 5 of Magic Johnson's teams. He had they got James Worthy then as well on the back end there, and Worthy was involved in multiple of Magic's championship runs as well. You even had McAdoo on, I think, 2 of those title runs, who was a great player in his own right, and a great defensive supporting cast as well surrounding Magic. And to me, I impugn LeBron James frequently for not winning challenging titles. And the reason I do not have Magic in my top 5 really is because, to me, he faced some juggernauts in the NBA Finals round. There is no doubt about it. He played some of the greatest teams ever assembled himself, because the Boston Celtics, just in particular, the 86, one of the best teams of all time, in my opinion, top probably 4 team ever in that. And there were the bad boy Pistons. Obviously, he played he played Michael Jordan in 91 without Kareem, only Worthy on that team. So, I mean, Magic faced down an incredible assortment of all-time great teams and great players in the NBA Finals, but the Western Conference, by and large, was pitiful when Magic Johnson was playing in it. It was almost comparable. It was comparably at least soft and bad compared to the East at that time, as LeBron's East was to the West when LeBron was playing. And right. Magic had a ridiculous team. So to me, I do take some points off now in hindsight. I used to myself have Magic higher. I've dropped him in the last couple years. And I think I think Kobe Bryant's a slam dunk case above Magic, by the way. Yeah. But not to get into that. To finish this comp off, the reason I put Magic, though, above LeBron is because while Magic had a stacked assortment of supporting casts, and while Magic played in a ridiculously, historically weak conference, Magic failed less than LeBron James. Like, Magic at least, he at least achieved things with the bad conference that he was blessed to play in and the all-time stacked lineups that he had. Magic went to 9 finals run. He went to 9 finals appearances in his 12-year career, and he won 5 of them. So, look, LeBron's played in 22 years to go to 10 finals only. So, just one more than Magic in 10 more years while losing 6 of the 10. And some all-time pants crapper that we talked about earlier, such as the 2011 gag job. So just for looking at the failures of LeBron, Magic, yes, maybe he didn't exceed great things, really, when you look at the runs that he had and the supporting cast that he had, but he at least got the plane down. He at least achieved things and didn't screw it up, unlike LeBron and his choking self, like he has been doing for 22 years, for the vast majority of 22 years. So for me, Bob M., for my money, or for your money, I guess, thank you for your super chat, I will have Magic above LeBron forever. So for me, Magic over LeBron.
Okay, and real quick, I'm going to skip down because this person says they're Tara Matthews. She said that she's headed to bed, so I just wanted to read hers to you right before she leaves.
Tara. Tara is back.
Yes, Tara Matthews. Thank you for the 5-piece. Thank you for the updates. As for the GOAT conversation, who beat the most 50-plus win teams in the finals? Mic drop, Mamba out.
Tara, welcome back to the party, to the Scap After Dark Live Lounge here, Tara. And thank you again for your support and thank you for being here. A new member to the Scap Lounge party and to my content. Kobe Bryant faced more 50-win teams than anyone ever in the history of the NBA playoffs. Kobe Bryant beat more 50-win teams than anybody in the history of the NBA playoffs, and he did it with, yes, he had Shaquille O'Neal, blah, blah, blah. He had Shaq for three of his rings, his 5 rings. Then he had just Pau Gasol for the other 2. But that's it. Like, Kobe only ever had one other all-star caliber player. Like, the other players on his team, like Derek Fisher was his 3rd best player in 2 of the 3 championships that he won with Shaquille O'Neal. Derek Fisher was like a 6-point-per-game NBA player for his career, who never once made an all-star. Derek Fisher, I think he finished like 8th in 6th man of the year voting one year. Like that was Derek Fisher's big accolade. That was the 3rd best player on 2 of his title runs with Shaq. And then, of course, I don't know who you want to say, Lamar Odom was probably the 3rd best player on the Pau Gasol teams. So Lamar Odom, who in like 14 or 15 years of his career, not one single all-star appearance ever, not one single all-NBA designation ever. Like those are the 3rd best players that Kobe Bryant's running around winning 5 titles with. So, and playing, as Tara highlighted, more 50-win teams than anybody ever and beating more 50-win teams than anybody ever. Tara, thank you so much again. Thank you for your great comments. And good night, Tara. Have a great night. And hopefully we'll see you again sometime soon in the Scap After Dark Live Lounge. And if not, keep an eye on those videos too, because I obviously appreciate you being there. So, Gary, thank you for alerting me to that.
Yes, and we're going to go back up now to Druid Trading with the Jokic handle photo on his YouTube. And he donated a 4-piece and a BAM currency, whatever that is. Oh, now you got to take that down so we can see the dog.
Right. Sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties here because my best friend that I referenced earlier has wanted to come up on my lap here. So I just wanted. She was jingling. So yes, let me get back to where
we will allow that.
Okay, let me get back to where we were. So we're looking for
Druid Trading, three up. 3 boxes up.
Okay. Druid Trading. All right.
Jokic is the photo.
Okay. Sorry. We're back. We're back. And I just want to point out, guys, again, this is Luna is joining us live here. Luna is joining us in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge here. This is my best friend, my little shadow. She's with me all the time. she is with me in this little bed at all times when I'm working on videos or when I'm on these live streams. But yes, she for whatever reason, she poked up here and wanted to say hi. So sorry for the technical difficulties, Gary. But what is Druid Trading?
We have to give the people what we want. So this is a very good comment. In 2019, Kobe predicted that Jokic would win MVP.
Interesting. I actually did not know that. I'm actually Druid Trading. Thank you so much for the super chat. Sorry, Luna was just knocking at the door. Thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for this little meaty tidbit here that I did not even know. Me being a huge Kobe supporter and a huge Jokic supporter, and I did not even know that in 2019 that, which is what was Jokic in 2019? Well, maybe like 23 years old, 24 years old. So the Black Mamba proving prophetic and just proving his acumen and basketball high IQ, projecting that. So that's a good call. I do not know, so you caught me on this one off guard. I'm gonna have to look into it, but thank you, Druid Trading, for bringing that to my attention. And you have my word that I am now going to look into that. I hope there's some kind of video footage of some sort pertaining to that, so I could do maybe a video on that in the future.
And here is a really interesting one. Thank you, Rob, for the 5-piece. I grew up a Magic fan in the mid-90s and would love to see them get back those glory days. What do you think they need to take the next step?
Rob, thank you. Great question. I like the Magic a lot. I don't know that they need much other than just to have like a natural maturation and just to get some playoff experience under their belt. I think it was an unfortunate first round matchup for them this year, drawing the Celtics. I think really had they gotten any team other than the Cavs or the Celtics, I think they probably would have had a good opportunity to win that series. And had they not missed their two best players, who I think very highly of, both Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. I think had they not, I think Banchero missed about 42 games this year, and Wagner missed like 30-ish. So had both of them, I think Banchero would have been like all NBA. I think maybe second team had he not missed too many games to be a qualified player for that. And Wagner, I think, is all-star caliber for sure. So had those two guys not missed the extensive amount of games, I think they probably would have been in line for like the 4 seed. And then, we'd probably be talking about them getting into a second round series this year, which again, I think they're a young team. They just need a little bit more time under their belt. I maybe they need one more piece, but I think the Magic can compete with almost any team in the Eastern Conference right now. So moving into next season, if they could just stay healthy, I think they're going to be a major player and factor in to the playoff outlook next year in the Eastern Conference. But great question, and I kind of like them. Like I just mentioned, I now live in Florida, so I would like, and I'm not that close to Orlando, but I'm not that far. So it would be cool if Orlando became a really competitive team, and I could go scope out maybe deep playoff series sometime moving forward. So I'm with you, Rob. Great question, and thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that.
All right, and this one's very good, more of a testimony more than a question. Jake, thank you for the 10-piece. Congrats on the channel growth. And Dirk beating LeBron in 2011 is my third favorite moment in NBA history, behind Kobe's titles in 2009 and 10. What a 3-year run of greatness that was. And I was there in Game 5 of 2009 finals, by the way, and got to watch Kobe hoist the trophy while he was there with Gigi, like little 3-year-old Gigi that was at his knees. So that was a great memory.
Wait, is Jake saying that, or are you, Gary?
Oh, I'm sorry. I added that. Jake's last the comment was what a 3-year run of greatness that was. And I was adding Gary's comment. I was adding myself that I was at that game in 2009 when they beat the Magic.
Gary, you were in the building for Kobe winning his 4th championship?
Yes. I got photos of him hoisting a trophy. I have to send them to you.
Moderator Gary, how we've known each other for like over a year and we talk regularly. How I am dumbfounded right now. How am I just now learning that you were
because
in the
you're
building?
If I remember correctly, that may have been the first thing I said to you the first time I made contact with you. I was talking about that. I was like, I agree with everything you're saying about LeBron, and I'm also a big Kobe fan. I was there in 2009, and I thought I sent you some photos. I think I'm
gonna have to go back and look at that. That's
we'll
incredible, Gary. I'm very jealous. I was at Kobe's last game, as I mentioned last night, when he scored 60 points in Staples, and I would not give that up for anything. That Kobe, that moment, that memory. But I really am. I've seen Kobe play like 50 times in person.
Wow.
But I never saw him play in a playoff game. And for you to see him win a championship, I'm extremely jealous of that, moderator Gary. But Jake Koning, many thanks to you. Thank you for congratulating me on the channel. And thank you for following me and supporting me here on the channel. I appreciate that. And yeah, those two Kobe rings, I think those are 2 of my all-time favorite sports moments in general. And then yes, I would put LeBron losing the 2011 finals to Dirk as well. Just the way Miami was built up all year, the way LeBron guaranteed 8 finals, 8 championships,
Right.
The way they were the heavy, undeniable, overwhelming favorites, the way they went up 2-1 in that series, the way they were mocking Dirk Nowitzki when Dirk was sick in one of the early games, and Wade and LeBron were making fun of him, and then to lose the 3 straight games, you couldn't have written it any better. I think that was just an incredible 3-year stretch. Absolutely, Jake. Great point, great question, and many thanks to you for supporting me in the channel here. I appreciate that.
All right, and we already did Tara, so we're gonna go down to John, the 2-piece. There is a 20-minute LaFlop compilation on YouTube. I don't doubt it.
John is back with $2. Thank you, John, so much for your continued support. John is a really active member here in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge. And honestly, someone in myself who has edited a lot of negative videos on LeBron, disparaging videos on LeBron, I will say it is not that easy to find LaFlop or LeBron, whatever, LeBron fail compilations. It's really not that easy. And I'm not saying it ain't because of a lack of content existing. We know that there is a hell of a lot of traveling, flopping, flailing, airballing, bricking things off the sides of backboards. We know that it exists, but I feel like there's some push for, I don't know, like maybe Clutch Sports or some other entity that is trying to block the spread of this information or this footage out there. So I've struggled in finding that content, John. So if there's a 20-minute compilation, I better find that and squirrel that away into my files for future use probably. So thank you for the tip, and thank you for the continued support out here.
And this one is very good. The Quiet Man, thank you for the 10-piece. And just to chime in before you go, Scap, I have Jordan. I personally think Jordan's the GOAT from what I've seen, but I put an asterisk by that. And the reason I say that is because I haven't seen enough on Wilt, because I think Wilt has a case for possibly being the GOAT, and Scap actually has Jordan as the GOAT and Kobe as his number 2. I have Jordan as the GOAT, and I think Wilt would probably be my number 2. But anyways, here's the question from him to you, Scap. What are your thoughts on Wilt? I think he's more dominant than people give him credit for. I've seen footage of his gameplay in the 60s, and his agility is heavily ignored.
Yeah, Quiet Man, I recognize the handle. You've been here. You've been in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge here a couple nights in a row now, and you've been supporting me and the stream here. So thank you very much. And great question. I'm going to just minimize it for a second so it's not covering my mouth here. But I actually I do think very highly of Wilt. I think he is somewhat downplayed. His dominance was somewhat downplayed. To me, Wilt is in my top 10. He will forever be in my top 10. He is not in my top 5, and primarily because just he has the 2 rings. I know that he ran up against the Boston Celtics time and time again. I know that the Boston Celtics had anywhere between 6 to 8 Hall of Famers. And I know that they had more to work with by and large than Wilt Chamberlain. But ultimately, having just 2 championships in 6 appearances for Wilt, as dominant as he was, and I'm going to go back and look into the context specifically of what happened in each and every one of those series. But I do take some points away from Wilt for only having the 2 titles. But, this is... I think that Wilt does have a case to be the GOAT. While I have Kobe Bryant number 2 all time on my list, I think that Wilt, there are a few players that I think do have GOAT claims just because they are the greatest undeniably at one thing or something. To me, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has the best resume ever. He went to 10 NBA Finals appearances. He won 6 of them. He has the most league MVPs ever, 6. He is top 3 all time in 3 standard box metrics. That would be points, rebounds, and blocks. So when you're looking at totality of resume, I think Kareem has the best resume. So I think Kareem has a case to be the GOAT because he has the best resume. I think Bill Russell has a case to be the GOAT because he is the best winner. He is the best leader. He is the best defensive player. So I think that, if you value those things, if you value straight resume, maybe to you, Kareem is the best. If you value just winning and that's it, then probably Bill Russell's the best. To me, Michael Jordan has the best peak by far, without doubt, and is the best overall package in terms of offense, defense, winning. I think Michael Jordan just overall has the best package and the best peak. So therefore, I think Jordan has a case for the GOAT. And finally, Wilt Chamberlain is the most physically and statistically individual dominant player of all time. So I think he has a case to be the GOAT. So to me, those are the 4 players that have GOAT cases. Wilt, yes, being one of them. So even though Kobe Bryant is my second best player ever, he's number 2 on my list. I'd say that Wilt is somewhere around 7 or 8 on my list. I'd say Wilt does actually have a case to be considered the GOAT, depending on what you value specifically and what is most valuable to you. And to that point, the Quiet Man, yeah, Wilt Chamberlain was nasty. And he, I think, is being diminished in hindsight now for whatever reasons moving forward. Probably because the era of the 60s and the pace of play and the scoring and so forth. But that's a great question, Quiet Man. And I do actually think very highly of Wilt. And maybe I myself need to go back in this offseason and evaluate those playoff runs and those finals losses more and see exactly what happened in them and the context of it all. And maybe I will move Wilt up higher on my all-time list. We got Graham in here for 5. Gary, what's Graham got?
Do you think Scottie Pippen would be a top 75 all-time player without the real GOAT, Jordan? A Pippen who averaged 22 points per game in his best year and only 16 points per game career.
Great question, Graham. I've done a couple of videos where I go at Scottie Pippen pretty harshly. I think one of them is called Scottie Pippen is a bum. So there's that. Do I think he would be a top 75 player? Probably. But top 50, he's top 50 though, Graham, keep in mind. Scottie Pippen is a top 50. He was on the all-time 50 list. I personally don't have him top 30. I think if I really sat down and hashed out my full list, I think maybe I'd have him somewhere 35 to 40. But would he be considered top 75? I think yes, Graham, to answer your question on that. But I think there's a good case to be made, maybe not top 40, which I think I do have him top 35-ish. Yeah, I mean, if he does not have the 6 rings, and really the question is, would he have the 6 rings or any rings without Michael Jordan? I don't think he would. And I think here's the point. A lot of Jordan haters out there, LeBron, mainly when I say Jordan haters, I'm talking primarily LeBron jock sniffers, because the Jordan haters are LeBron jock sniffers. The LeBron jock sniffers are Jordan haters, and vice versa. Many of them prop up Scottie Pippen. And for me, I look at it as like Scottie Pippen was lucky to play with Michael Jordan, not the other way around. Like Michael Jordan didn't need Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen needed Michael Jordan. Did Michael Jordan win any playoff series without Scottie Pippen? No. But that's not because Scottie Pippen was so great. It's because with just like Nikola Jokic now, just like Kobe Bryant in 2005, 2006, those Jokic now, Kobe then, Jordan in the 80s needed one viable, consistent all-star caliber player. That's it. Jokic doesn't need Luka Doncic or Giannis Antetokounmpo. Kobe didn't need, Dwayne Wade or whatever, top 5 player in there, or LeBron James. He needed Pau Gasol. Like, give those guys, they're so great. They need just one all-star. Like, look at the teams that Michael Jordan was contending with in the 80s and losing to. The 80s Celtics with like 4 or 5 Hall of Famers on them every year, like 3 perennial all-stars. The bad boy Pistons with 2 perennial all-stars, defensive all-NBA players on that. I think 4 Hall of Famers. Like, those are the teams Michael Jordan was losing to with not one all-star. It's Nikola Jokic today is what Jordan was doing back then. It was Kobe in 05, 06. So to me, like, Jordan didn't need Pippen. He needed just somebody, one guy that was an all-star. I think there's about 20 guys that played in the Jordan era that could have replaced Scottie Pippen, and Jordan still would have won 6, maybe even more. So I don't know if that answers your question, Graham, but great question overall, and thank you for the super chat there.
And I just have to say, I think Pippen was just the perfect complimentary player to Jordan, which is why they traded for him on draft night. It was just like, this guy can do what Jordan needs. That's what I think. And I think that elevated Pippen to a Hall of Fame career, whereas Pippen probably would have just been a very good player, probably not a Hall of Famer on his own. I don't know for sure, but that's my guess. Do you think he would have been a Hall of Famer if he didn't play with Jordan?
I don't know, honestly. I don't like what. I mean, he's got what? 6 all-star, 6 or 7 all-star appearances in his entire career.
Let me look it up.
Let me. I want to say 7 all-star appearances for Scottie Pippen.
I will look it up right now.
And I'm not sure how many first-team All-NBA. I want to say 3.
7 times.
Okay, so 7 All-Stars and 3 first-team All-NBAs, I think.
I'd have to look that up. But he was MVP in 94 of the All-Star game. The All-Star game MVP in 94.
Okay, like what? I mean, whatever. I think. Yeah, I think three All-NBA first-team selections, and 7 All-Star appearances. I think, yeah, and I think I want to say 9 All-NBA defensive selections. He's a Hall of Fame. Yes, I think he makes the Hall of Fame.
Well, that's playing with Jordan, of course. I'm saying if he wasn't playing with Jordan, there's a good chance he doesn't do all of that. Scottie Pippen's one of the few players in the history of the league that's a bit of an enigma. We don't really know we know how great he was with Jordan. And of course, I think he would be very good. But would he have been on that level, though? Would he have made the All-Star team 7 times? Is it possible he could have been better? Him individually be better without Jordan? You know what? That's a good topic for a video sometime in the off season or something, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the full year that he did not have Michael Jordan on the team, he was, yes, 3rd in MVP, 1st team defense, 1st team All NBA, an All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year, finished 4th in that, 22 points per game, 9 rebounds and 6 assists.
Wow,
so I mean. Yeah, Scottie Pippen is a Hall of Famer without
okay.
I do think he is. I talk a lot of junk on Scottie Pippen from time to time. But I think he's a Hall of Famer. And I think he still would have been somewhere probably around 35 to 45 all time. But I think consensus of Scottie Pippen is like top 29 or better. Some people have him like top 20, like these Jordan haters, these pitiful, distasteful liars, these Jordan haters, LeBron jocks numbers. Some of these guys have Scottie Pippen like top 15. It's insane. So I think Scottie Pippen is by and large kind of overrated, but like I still think he was a great player. He's still a Hall of Famer. But yeah, great topic on Scottie Pippen.
All right, here we go. We got someone with the Diaz brothers, Nate and Nick Diaz there. Do you watch MMA, specifically UFC?
10x209, thank you for the support here, and thank you for the question. The answer though is no. I'm not much into combat sports. I used to like boxing, mainly the heavyweight circuit when I was like really young. I'm talking like Mike Tyson era heavyweight stuff. So I used to watch that, and then I kind of watched a bit of Mayweather just because I love to hate him so much that I always watched his fights hoping that he would lose. But no, like MMA and UFC, unfortunately, no, I do not watch it. I should maybe get into it more. So maybe on your request, maybe I will start tuning into that. So thank you for the suggestion and for the super chat.
HR, $2. The Warriors going to round 2. They knocked the Lakers. Then HR, another one. Night, Dirty Rockets. So I guess he's a Warriors fan.
HR back-to-back. Yeah, back-to-back super chats there. Thank you, HR, for that. And it's actually a good point, honestly, a good foil because LeBron and Steph are going to be intrinsically connected. Their careers for all of time. They coincided over the same pretty much span of time, like 2012-ish to 2020 to now. You know, they kind of were in the same era. They're both fringe top 10 players. They both have 4 championship rings. They played each other head-to-head 4 times. Is that right? Yes, they played 4 times because Steph beat him in 2014, 2015, lost him in 2015, 2016, then Steph beat him again. So they played 4 times in the finals. LeBron's 1 and 3 head-to-head. But anyway, these guys are connected. They will be forever. And if you remember, the Lakers won the trade deadline with the huge, splashy, like mega trade of the century, getting Luka Doncic, and were immediately installed as like a heavy championship favorite. Whereas, you know, at the time, the Warriors were just 25 and 26 in 10th place in the Western Conference. And nobody really thought much of that Jimmy Butler move at the time. But they were great with Jimmy Butler down the stretch. And now here we are. Yes, here we are. Great point, HR. LeBron fails with his big splashy, trade deadline acquisition, whereas Steph Curry and company are going into the second round. So yeah, great point there. And thank you for supporting me and supporting the stream here. We've got another one, Gary. What do we got going on here? From is that Xavier Dugard? Thank you, Xavier Dugard. I appreciate you.
First KD, now LeBron. Is Steph Curry the next victim for the Ant-Man?
I think he is, Xavier Dugard. I think that he is. I think that He's just checking all of these all-time greats off on his little list. What is that meme thing? The Grim Reaper, like the cartoon Grim Reaper going to like, you see him at a door and like the two doors behind him are like, KD on the ground, LeBron on the ground. Now Curry is at the door next for the Grim Reaper. I think the Ant-Man, and I think really, look, I do like Ant-Man, but like, let's not lose the sight of the fact that the Timberwolves are really damn good. They're a great team. They had last year's Sixth Man of the Year winner, Naz Reid, who I'm not so sure that he's not going to win the Sixth Man this year. The kid in Boston, he's a runaway Sixth Man this year. But I think Naz Reid is probably still the best bench player in the NBA. Rudy Gobert, last year's Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. Rudy Gobert takes a lot of slandering, but nonetheless, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. And then, I mean, Julius Randle, they trade a fringe perennial all-star in Karl Anthony Towns. I think he made like 4 all-star appearances in his career. I think Randle's made 3 or 4 all-star appearances in his career. So a secondary high-end, like all-star caliber second player, and then Ant Edwards, and a good supporting cast otherwise around him. Mike Conley, a very effective veteran leader there at point. I like the DiVincenzo pickup, which is part of that trade with the Knicks. So the Timberwolves are a great team. So I'm not giving all the credit to Ant Edwards, but he certainly is the best player, the driver of that bus. So, and I do think the next victim now is going to be Steph Curry. So great question, Xavier Dugard, and thank you very much for your support. Graham is back in here with a huge, it's covering my face, which is probably fair. I'll just let it cover my face because this is a big donation from Graham. So Graham, shout out to you. Many thanks. In fact, let me just hide this for a second. Many thanks to you for supporting me and what I'm doing out here, and for being an active member here in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge, a big member. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. And Gary, what does Graham have to say here?
He's got a great question here. Why do you think the quote-unquote media bring up longevity stats so much, knowing that LeBron has played 510 more regular season games, let alone playoffs, than the GOAT, knowing Jordan averaged a triple-double at the end of the 88-89 season, could have kept it up had he wanted to?
Graham, great question, Graham. I got a little tongue twisted there. And again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that very generous donation. And why do I think that's a good question? Why do I think the media brings up the longevity so much? Graham, probably because what the hell else can they bring up? Like, if you're trying to comp LeBron and Jordan, I mean, LeBron has he's led the league in 2 standard metrics for his entire career, 2 in 22 years. He led the league 1 time in scoring, 1 time in assists. Michael Jordan, conversely, top of my head, I know the 10 scoring titles. I'm not sure if it was 2 or 3 steal titles, but it was 2 or 3. So Jordan has led the league 12 or 13 times in a standard metric in really only 13 healthy years. So in 13 healthy years, Jordan has led the league in a standard metric 12 or 13 times compared to LeBron's 2 in 22 years. Everybody props up LeBron's efficiency and his advanced analytics. Well, Jordan tops LeBron in all of that too. LeBron never could run down Jordan in PER, in BPM, in win share per 48 minutes. So Michael Jordan easily and resoundingly trumps and destroys LeBron in every standard sense of a metric, in every advanced metric. Jordan obviously also played harder opposition. He played fiercer opponents. He played more from a percentage standpoint because he played in such fewer amounts of playoff series than LeBron. But for a percentage standpoint, Michael Jordan played a higher percentage of 50-win teams, a higher percentage of 60-win teams. Michael Jordan was more effective, beating a higher percentage of 50-win teams, a higher percentage of 60-win teams. He won 6 NBA championships in 12 or 13 healthy seasons to LeBron's 4 in 22. LeBron played with more help than Jordan. He played with more all-stars. He played with a higher percentage of all-stars per team. So any which way you want to slice it, Michael Jordan destroys LeBron James. He's better statistically from a standard and advanced standpoint. He's a better winner against harder opposition with less help. So I ask you, Graham, I put you back up here, Graham. I ask you, what else can the media do? What else do they actually have to talk about? It is so clear and so obvious that Michael Jordan is substantially better than LeBron James at everything. Like, the only thing they can say is, oh, well, look, LeBron scored more points than Michael Jordan, despite the fact he played in over 500 more games than Michael Jordan, because it's all they can say. Like, oh, well, look at how much better LeBron James is at 40 than Michael Jordan at 40. So what? Like, look at the peak for peak. Jordan trounces LeBron easily. So, unfortunately, Graham, these smarmy, jock-sniffing bootlicker LeBron James stands out there, they have nothing else to bring up but the longevity. So that's why they rigidly and pathetically cling to it.
I have something to add for you to comment on as well. Think about this. LeBron and Jordan, very different mindsets and mentalities. Jordan was playing just to capitalize on doing as much as he could within his regular time to playing career, whereas LeBron is chasing Jordan, and because he couldn't catch up in a regular size career, his mindset went to longevity, which is why he allegedly started taking illegal supplements, let's say, to prolong his career. Yes, he's playing very well right now, but say a Jordan or Kobe, if they had the same mindset to play for 22 years, maybe they would have taken those shortcuts, and who knows what Jordan would have, because yes, LeBron is playing better at age 40 than Jordan was at age 40, but why do you think that is? It's not based on talent alone. It's because LeBron is taking some illegal supplements to give him an edge that Jordan did not take. So the mindset is LeBron is chasing Jordan, and here's the irony. You still haven't caught up to him. You've just got more points because you've played like how many more games than him?
Fair, all fair points. And that's why I've said in the past, if there's any credible, or I should say, I think there is credible allegations about the steroid usage swirling around LeBron James. But if there's ever any definitive evidence that is provided that it's like a foregone conclusion that he did do it, I think that would absolutely wreck and destroy LeBron and his case, and his GOAT case, which is built on a house of cards, as we know. It would crumble easily because that is his only case, as Graham pointed out, is the longevity is all he's got. So if we find out that the longevity was built inorganically or artificially, then obviously that would destroy whatever minuscule little case some people seem to think that he has. Graham, thank you very much again. Appreciate you. What else do we have here from Mikhail? Shout out to you, Mikhail. Thank you very much for supporting me and the lounge here. Gary, what's Mikhail have to say here?
First time watching your live stream. People who say LeBron is the GOAT, I believe, are brain deficient. I used to think the same thing before when I never even watched basketball.
Mikhail, thank you for joining the live stream. It's not saying much that this is the first time watching. This is my third time doing it. So this is your first time. This is my third time. So, I think I might be doing the Scap Live After Dark live stream lounge as much as I possibly can during the playoffs, because I just love talking basketball. I love mixing it up with you guys. So I will be on, I'm hoping, after most games throughout the conclusion of the NBA playoffs. So just to let you know, I have done this now 3 days in a row, and it's a trend I think I might keep going with. But Mikhail, thank you for joining me. Thank you for supporting me here via your generous donation. And, thank you for your comment, because, I hate to be overly critical of these guys and say they're brain dead, Mikhail, but I do think there's a problem with some of these LeBron stans and fanboys. I think they do have a problem. I think they're a prisoner of the moments. I think They don't understand the history of the NBA. I think they have not done any due diligence or studying of any other eras. And I think they're just overall captivated by what they're seeing and what they're experiencing and wanting to think that that is the best that's ever been. We all know that that's a lie. We all know it's not true. Anyone that has seen or experienced any of the other eras or taken the opportunity and the time to go and look into other great players that they couldn't actually specifically themselves watch, we all know that LeBron is not the GOAT. So yes, Mikhail, I think there is something wrong with these LeBron stands. I think I think that you're right on that. So I appreciate you. We have something else in here. Help me with this pronunciation. How would you say that,
Gary? I'm calling him Messi for short. Messi 2025. I'm calling him Messi for short with the 5.5 piece. And I got to tell you, Messi, I am in total agreement with you here. I obviously it was amazing what the Warriors did in 17 and 18. I mean, how powerful they were. And I was blown away in those finals with LeBron's performance. And what was just so beautiful, no, you couldn't be any better than LeBron was in those finals. And it didn't even put a dent in the super team the Warriors built to combat LeBron setting that trend. Hey, Scap, big fan, love your stuff. Just wanted to say, I absolutely love 2018 LeBron, and I hate every other version of LeBron. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so LeBron, is that the year, are we saying the year LeBron got swept or not in the final?
It was, let me look it up. He was swept one year, and I think it was in 5, one other year. I think in 2018, I think they won one, but let me look that up for you. I'll be right back. Go ahead and get into it.
I think, look, LeBron James certainly has provided some masterful stat pieces throughout the course of his career, generally in a hollow, winless effort. But yes, there was, I believe that when Nick Wright started his campaign of saying LeBron is the GOAT was right around that time, that 2017-18 era LeBron James. So the thing is, though, in those, not the Warriors run where he got swept, that was after the Kyrie Irving was traded. So let me just say this about that. With Kyrie Irving being traded, Gary, who would you say was to blame for the Kyrie Irving trade overall?
Hang on a second.
I might just be spitballing here, but LeBron, I don't think, was fostering a very welcoming environment for Kyrie Irving. I think Kyrie Irving wasn't feeling genuinely respected by LeBron.
Right.
So I think I put some blame on LeBron, and LeBron obviously blessed that trade. So, but even with the fact that, let's just say all those things are true, I still don't think necessarily, I didn't expect LeBron to be able to beat the Warriors that second time when they got swept with basically just Kevin Love, no Kyrie Irving. But the first championship matchup, I think that was 2017, actually. So
2017 was 5 games. 2018 was the sweep.
Okay, so for this comment specifically, the 2018, I don't have much criticism for LeBron for losing that series, obviously, because there was no Kyrie Irving anymore. But I still, to get swept, though, not even get one game, get swept in the NBA Finals. But I just want to just mention the 2017 series real fast. I think that was a winnable series, in my opinion. I think that's a series that LeBron can be criticized for losing because Kyrie Irving was still absolutely balling in 2017. I think Kyrie averaged 30 points per game. Kyrie outplayed Steph Curry in 2016, the 2015-16 series where the Cavs came back and won. It's undeniable that Kyrie Irving outplayed Steph Curry. Some people will say Curry was injured in that 2015-2016 series, but Kyrie definitely got the better of him in 2015-2016, and Kyrie was still fantastic in the 2017 series. Kyrie averaged 30 points per game. He outscored Curry head-to-head in that series. So really, I look at 2017 as the main difference in that series. The reason why the Cavaliers lost in 5 is because KD punked LeBron. Like, KD outplayed LeBron, period. So I honestly, I still blame LeBron for that 2017 loss. But if Messi here thinks highly of the 2018, I mean, he played a great, his regular season was fantastic that year. He had a great playoff run. But it ultimately ended in a sweeping for whatever reason you want to say. The guy got swept in the NBA Finals. So, I mean, it's just more of the same. The pervasive narrative from LeBron James about LeBron James, individual statistic mastery doesn't really necessarily equate to winning. Not really most of the time.
Right. John's back. Thank you, John. As a born in the early 90s kid, I remember MJ's final 3 rings. He was my favorite player. Then I moved to Mads and became a C's fan. I hated Kobe with a passion, but damn, did I respect him. The Queen, nah.
Wow, John, thank you very much for jumping back in with yet another contribution to the Scap Live After Dark Lounge. I appreciate that, John. And I was thinking, I was thinking you were a bit older. Born in the early 90s. So that means that he probably more so kind of grew up in like the early 2000s, right? Like if you're born in the 90s, then you're like early 2000s and like into the mid 2000s. Like that's when you're really coming of age, so to speak. So I mean, to hear that was when Kobe was ruling the earth, to be fair. So to hear that he hated Kobe with a passion, that really does say something there. But respect, that is what John really is talking about. It's not about like or love or hate or admiration. Respect. And that is what Kobe Bryant always demanded, I think, from even the haters of his, the fan bases that hated him, the players that disliked him around the league. The one commonality about Kobe Bryant was that they did respect him, and maybe even to some degree they feared him. And that obviously isn't the case for LeBron James. His peers consistently disparage him, consistently clown him. We talked about last night about the Crowder when he was salsa dancing in LeBron's face as the Suns were eliminating them in the first round. Like that kind of stuff never happened to Kobe Bryant or to Michael Jordan. So great point, John. And yet again, John, thank you very much for being a very active member here in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge.
Marvolo Riddle with the 5-piece. Thank you for that. Where will you rank Curry if he wins a 5th ring with a broken thumb? Not likely with the Thunder, but what if he does?
Marvolo Riddle, thank you very much. Great question. I'd say Curry, look, he deserves right now. It's a tricky question, Marvolo. First of all, I don't see that happening this year with not just the Thunder, but I don't think they're even going to get by the Timberwolves. If they do, I definitely don't think they get by the Thunder. And if they do, I think they lose to probably the Celtics. But let's just let's do a willing suspension of disbelief here and play make believe that that somehow that Steph Curry is going to win a championship this year, a 5th championship. I think Steph Curry is a fringe top 10 player right now. I think he deserves some warranted consideration and maybe even some placement into the top 10. He's not in mine, but I think he's in the mix. Like I think he's in somewhere like if you were to mention 5 or 6 names like that would have a shot at being number 10, I think he might be it. But like I don't think necessarily getting the 5th gives him much movement this year. Like I don't think that it definitively makes him top 10. Like I don't think if he is 10th right now, I don't think it moves him to 5. Like I don't think there's much movement to be had here. I mean, it would be a crazy run though, so I guess I would have to factor the difficulty of the run in. But again, he did get playoff Jimmy Butler at the trade deadline. So I have to factor that in. They were 25-26 at the trade deadline. They were matriculating their way to not making the playoffs. Like, I'm sorry, check that, Masali. check that, or Marvolo Riddle, check that. They were going to miss the play-in, it looked like. They then make a trade for playoff Jimmy Butler, who is a perennial all-star, who has been all-NBA caliber from time to time, who has been to 2 NBA finals in masterful runs of his own right. And they bring that guy in, and it uplifts his season here. So, like, it's just another thing, like another gimmick thing that he needed to try to squeeze in another ring. I mean, he's got the 2 without really anything crazy around him, although Andrew Wiggins was an all-star of the year in 2022 when he won that championship. And he still had Clay and Dre on that. So you got Clay and Dre and an all-star in Wiggins that year. And now you got Butler. So I don't think there's much movement. Even if he does win this year, which is highly improbable. But if they do, again, it's on the back of the defense. I think, as evidenced by tonight's game, it's going to be because of the defense. And Steph Curry wasn't a good defender at all in his prime. He certainly isn't now in his mid-30s. So I don't really think a championship this year is going to be much about Steph Curry. So not much movement, quite frankly. He still is a barely fringe top 10 player right now, and he is still, if he gets a 5th ring this year, to me at least.
Rob, thank you, the 5-piece. And this is something I have often thought about because this guy was huge when I was a teenager. Hey, Scap, where does Penny Hardaway rank on your list of biggest what-ifs? I think he had top 10 GOAT potential and bigger what-if than Derrick Rose.
Rob, great question. Thank you very much for the shout out, for the donation, and for supporting me out here. That's a great question. I think I think I agree with half of your question premise, and I disagree with half of it. I think he ranks very highly on my what ifs. I think he might honestly rank top 2. Penny was first team all NBA the 2 years Michael Jordan was not in the NBA. So if you remember when Jordan retired in 93, 94, 94, 95, those 2 years, Penny Hardaway was all NBA first team at the guard spot, the 2 spot that year. So he was that level. Like, he was the best 2 guard in the NBA for those 2 seasons. And many people forget this. Like, Jordan came back with like 17 games left in like the 94-95 season. And they actually played the Magic in the playoffs that year. And the Magic beat them, and Penny essentially neutralized Jordan. So and that was like 23-ish year old Penny Hardaway. So Penny Hardaway was that damn good, but I still don't know if I would go to the level of GOAT, like top 10 GOAT, because then I have to start thinking like, well, who would I remove? Like, my top 10 list is pretty clear cut and pretty, I'd say, unchanging. Like, something insane, crazy is going to happen for me to move somebody out of my existing top 10 and move somebody else in. So I don't know that he would have made it into the top 10, but he is top 2 probably in my all-time what-ifs. Maybe top 3. I think Bill Walton is in my all-time like what-if list. And to me, Tracy McGrady is in my top 3 all-time what-ifs list. So probably Bill Walton, Penny Hardaway, and Tracy McGrady. Tracy McGrady, for those of you that don't know, like, go back and look at what this guy did. I did a video on Tracy McGrady and his what-if. Like, in like his 5-year span of prime, like, Tracy McGrady was as good as anybody in the NBA at that time, which included Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan. So, like, that's what Tracy McGrady looked like at his peak ceiling when he was not injured. So, great question. But yes, I do not think, I don't know that he would have made it to the top 10, but top 3 in my biggest what ifs. Great question. And Penny Hardaway was pretty damn great.
Who Bennings, thank you for the 13-piece. Really been appreciating the more low-key FaceTime videos as of late. Shout outs to Gary and these streams. Thank you, sir. Or ma'am.
Pooh Bananas, thank you very much. That's a funny handle name, Pooh Bananas. I just like the word poo, obviously. I use it in my videos quite a bit because I am a child ultimately. But great handle, and thank you very much for the support here. I appreciate that. And thank you for mentioning my kind of format change here. I've talked about it the last couple nights. Yeah, I'm putting my face out there more. I'm doing more of me on cam in these videos. Quite frankly, in full candor and disclosure, it's just much easier for me to edit the videos. And I like being on camera. So it just kind of made sense. It's easier for me to produce the videos, and I like doing it. So it was kind of a no-brainer. I just needed viable space that I thought looked kind of acceptable and nice enough for me to do it. So thank you. And for the live streams, yes, shout out to moderator Gary. He's been trying to get me to do these live streams for like a full year. I've been very reluctant and standoffish to do the live streams. But finally, moderator Gary has beaten and broke me down to doing them. And now this is night 3 in a row, and I am very much enjoying and appreciating being on here. So it's something that I think I will probably keep going, moving on into the future in some capacity. So thank you very much, Pooh Bananas, for your donation, and thank you for supporting me out here.
Yes, thank you for that. And exquisite vibes with the 5-piece. I like this question. Random question. Thoughts on Iceman George Gervin as a player?
Exquisite vibes. That's an exquisite question. Thank you very much. I really do love me the Iceman. Gary, I'm sure you do too, because of who he played for.
Yes.
For stints of his career there. There is is a little bit before my time, but I'm aware of, there was a poster that NBA players that I grew up with referenced. So I went and found this poster, and there's a play called The Iceman Cometh. And there was this poster with like George Gervin, like holding his fingers out and like icicles coming off of them. And the poster said Iceman Cometh. And it was just a really badass, hard ass poster. And the Iceman, I do want to say, we were talking, I think last night, KD, and we're talking Jordan scoring titles. Michael Jordan had 10 scoring titles in his career, most ever in NBA history. Will Chamberlain had 7, second most. Nobody else had more than 4. There's a few players that had 4 all-time. KD had 4. George Gervin is one of them too, I believe, that led the league in scoring 4 times. So the Iceman George Gervin, I think, is one of the more underrated players in NBA history. And again, one of the greatest all-time posters, the Iceman Cometh George Gervin. So good question. I have a lot of respect for George Gervin, and I don't think his name gets brought up enough in terms of the best scorers in NBA history. So definitely shout out to Gervin.
Nick Balanzano with a 20-piece. Thank you for that, sir. What do you think this Houston series says about Jalen Green? What are your thoughts about him as a player after 6-7 games in single digits? Love your video, Scap. Keep it up.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you very much for your kind, generous donation and your great question here. I'm not sure if you were on earlier, but I did specifically mention Jalen Green. I'll mention him again, though. Thank you for your donation here, and I don't mind mentioning him again real quick. Jalen Green, he's got a lot of maturing to do, I think. He had basically one good game. I think it was game 2. He had 38 or 39 points. Other than that, he has been absolutely abysmal. And in fact, I'm going to just have to drop it. He has been abysmal, reprehensible, terrible in this series. He entered the game tonight. I think we're talking about a 21 point per game score on the season this year. And he's, one of the 2 or 3 best players on that team. And he entered as a 20 point per game scorer this year coming into this series. He entered the night, though, through the first 6 games of the series at 14 points per game on 38% shooting. And he then tonight in game 7 at home in a winner-take-all scored 8 points on 3 of 8 shooting. So, basically the 38-point performance in game 2, I think it was the only thing keeping this guy above float. He would have averaged under 10 points per game on in the 30s for this series. And in a series where they get it into a game 7, and they were, I think it was a 7 or 8 point game with about a minute left in the third quarter, you can basically just completely blame Jalen Green on the outcome of this series. If he played any semblance of what he did, how he did in the regular season, or if he at least did it in like 2 or 3 games, I think that honestly the Rockets would have upset. I know it sounds weird saying the 7 seed or being upset by a 2, but I think the Warriors were favored to win this series. I think the consensus was that they should have won it. So yeah, I think if he had played more to his regular season form, they would have likely won this series. So I think he's got a lot of growing up to do and a lot of maturation, Nick, to answer your question. But look, the kid is only 22. So I am going to give him some grace, and we'll see if he can come back better and stronger with this kind of result under his belt into next season. So thanks. Great question.
TW, the 2-piece. Thank you for that. And this is a great question, $1 million question. Scap Attack, realistically, what will it take for Denver to beat OKC to win?
What will it take for Denver to win the NBA championship this year? An act of God. I'm not a highly religious man, but I did go through roughly 15, 14 years of Catholic schooling before I got college. Is the first non-Catholic school I went to. So while I am not a highly religious person, it would take an act of God for Denver to win. Now, all right, we can try. They'll try their best, but to hone in on that and be more specific, though, it will take Jamal Murray playing like 2023 Jamal Murray for 4 games out of every series that they play for the next 3. But that's not all. It's also going to take a third player, whether it be Christian Brown or Aaron Gordon or Russell Westbrook. It's going to take a third player. So Jamal Murray consistently 4 times out of 7 for the next 3 rounds, playing 25 point per game on 45 to 48% shooting, 39% from the 3. We need that in 4 out of 7 for 3 straight. But we also need a third player to step up and play, highly beneficial minutes. Maybe, 15 to 16 points per game on high efficiency. Somebody, I'm not saying it has to be one guy, but one of those guys has to do it. And maybe, just maybe, Michael Porter Jr. to play like a guy who's making $40 million a year, roughly. I think he's making $38 million a year. So maybe, just maybe that to happen. So do I see that happening? And they've been playing great defense too. They need to sustain the defensive effort as well. Do I see all of those things transpiring in the next 3 series? I do not. Even if it does, there are no guarantees because the Thunder are still way better. Even if those things happen, the Thunder are still, I think, better. And then Minnesota is an extremely difficult matchup. I think they're going to get Minnesota ultimately. They would get Minnesota in the West Finals. And that, I think they lost games 6 and 7 last year in the playoffs to Minnesota. They then lost all 4 games this year in the regular season to Minnesota. So they have lost 6 straight games to Minnesota. And one of those losses, TW, Jokic had 60-point triple-double in. So they can't even win a game where Jokic was 60% shooting from the field and had a 60-point triple-double. So they have to get through all of that somehow in the West. Then probably Boston, who has the best starting 5 by far in the NBA. Just a ridiculous, disgusting embarrassment of riches for the Boston Celtics. So then they have to beat them. So I don't really see any way that all of that happens, TW. But if it all does, it would be an act of God. So that is what I think that it would take, realistically, for the Denver Nuggets to win the 2025 NBA championship. But I will be here watching and reacting to it along the way. So good question. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that.
Okay, here's something kind of funny. Believe it or not, a couple of days ago, I watched a video from this channel, Cowboy Karate TV, with this trending topic about, can 100 men beat a gorilla? I have watched a slew of the videos. I'm assuming you've heard that trend, Jay, or no?
No.
Okay, well, I won't get into it then. but I happen to see their some of their video on that.
And this is this channel, the Cowboy Karate TV.
Cowboy Karate TV. So shout out to you for that. So they say to you, I like your channel, but unfortunately you're surrounded by confirmation is that supposed to be conformation? I think he means conforming bias, seeking Neanderthals. I hope you can avoid audience's capture.
Well, Cowboy Karate TV, thank you for supporting me in the channel. But I mean, I'm gonna just have to disagree. From an early, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Gary, but he's kind of taking a shot at my audience, right? That's what
I don't think so. Hey, look, let me
maybe Cowboy Karate TV, you can confirm that. I think the way I'm reading this is that I'm surrounded by confirmation bias seeking Neanderthals on my channel, my audience.
Hey, Jay, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to go to the next question. Cowboy Karate TV, I want you to clarify in the chat exactly what you're trying to ask, reword it, and then we'll go back and we'll answer you, okay? And let's just go to the next one for right now.
Okay. And the next one, am I right in saying the next one is Qsmo Jimbo here?
Yeah.
Okay, Qsmo Jimbo, thank you very much for the super chat here. I appreciate you shouting me out and supporting me. Gary, moderator, what does Qsmo Jimbo have for us?
Okay, yeah, I'm right. This is Syracuse guy because he's asking about Carmelo Anthony. So let's go. Scap, what do you make of Carmelo Anthony's full legacy, especially now that he's officially been inducted into the Hall of Fame? As a diehard Syracuse fan, I'm forever grateful he brought a natty back to my hometown. And props for that, Q's. I remember that was a great game against Kansas back in, I want to say 2003, I think it was.
Yeah, I think Carmelo is one of the best collegiate players. I think, let's say best first year collegiate players of all time. I mean, there's no way around that. Like, he won an NCAA championship as the lead player as a freshman. It's a very, very rare feat. And I think he honestly should have been Rookie of the Year then when he came in that year that LeBron was given it. But yes, that Syracuse title was nasty. When you think of the best, the best freshman players in NCAA history, obviously you got to mention Anthony Davis, Zion Williamson, and Cooper Flagg, because those are the only three players that have won the Naismith National Player of the Year as a true freshman. And of those three, Zion choked in the Final Four. Cooper Flagg did not choke I would not say he choked in that Final Four, but he was on a team that choked, so he bears some of the burden and the blame of that. Anthony Davis did win a championship in his freshman year to validate that Naismith Player of the Year. But Carmelo with a magical run with Syracuse. So into the NBA, I think Carmelo was he's one of the great scorers of all time. I think he's top, I don't know exactly where, but top 15 for sure. On the all-time scoring list. One of the great scorers, never ultimately really was competitive in terms of competing for championships. He had a couple seasons there where they got Allen Iverson on the Nuggets team, but like Kobe was in there, and they just kind of got steamrolled by Kobe and the Powell teams those years. Other than that, Carmelo never was factoring into the championship equation. So I always, I like Carmelo. I liked his game. He seemed like a solid competitor. And I like the fact Dwayne Wade disclosed recently, like a year ago, that Carmelo, the master plan was actually to have Carmelo, Wade, and LeBron team up. And Carmelo really wasn't down with being like a second or third option. So I do respect the hell out of Carmelo in his prime for not teaming up and helping LeBron break the NBA. So, shout out to Melo, and shout out to you, Qsmo Jimbo, for your support there. And Gary, do we have any clarification on what exactly Cowboy Karate TV was insinuating?
And Q's, that was a great question to ask about Carmelo, because I've often thought about that myself. Yeah, he says you were right. He was trash talking your audience. He said not to worry about it, and he gave me the peace sign. So I guess he just wanted to stop by to.
Yeah,
I don't know. I thought he was talking about being surrounded by, like the media machine from ESPN or whatnot. But
no. Yeah, the way I read that was that he was kind of disparaging the audience. Which
why would he like your channel but think that your audience is full of Neanderthals if they're supporting and seconding what you're saying? That doesn't make sense.
I mean, I honestly, I understand the separation, that he can make a separation there. I'm just going to disagree with it. That's all. Like I started doing this. Like I said, I've talked about it before. 2 years ago, I started doing this, and I think my channel is growing, to a point where, like, I wish I was growing faster. I think I'm just about at 72,000 subscribers now in about 2 years time. So I thought, who knows? Like, people think they have different aspirations or different plans or goals when they set out to do this kind of stuff. This YouTube game is hard, as they say. I thought I would be at 100,000 subscribers by now. That is my goal that I mentioned in my videos and that I'm pushing towards. By the end of this year, I would like to be there. But while I have not hit my ultimate goal of 100,000 subscribers, or the speed of which I would have liked to get there at, I have been blown away by the support of the people that I do have. The ones that have been here with me and the ones that continue now to subscribe and join me and follow me from the very beginning to now. Like, I'm just so overwhelmed and humbled by the support that everybody gives me out here, and that the comments and everything. That's why I love getting in the comments of videos afterwards and talking to people, and why I'm doing these live streams more, because I want to connect more with people, with my audience, because I really genuinely do love my audience, and I'm very, very thankful for everything that they do for me, and the fact that they continue to support me, and they're trying to build me up here on this platform. So, Cowboy Karate TV, while I do appreciate you supporting me as well, I'm definitely not going to badmouth any of my audience. So, but thank you for the super chat.
All right, JW with a 5-piece. Thank you for that. And this is a very interesting question, and you and I were touching up on this yesterday about Kobe. How different do you think the future NBA looks if Kobe Bean Bryant was still alive to mentor the young guns? Bron can't teach Jack, can't even post without traveling.
Yeah, I mean, I think the NBA would look a lot different if Kobe, JW, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate you being out here for me. I think if Kobe was a really pervasive and active member of the NBA's community and youth today, I think he possibly could have made a big difference. In that, I think Kobe could have had some major aspirations. So maybe this is actually too low on the totem pole for him. But if he was like the head of the Players Association, or if he was, I don't know, some higher level participant in the league offices under Adam Silver. Hell, maybe if Kobe became the NBA commissioner or something like that. I think if Kobe was like an active and pervasive member in today's NBA, I think that he could actually have made like a pretty significant change and stop the direction, because we've been working towards getting to this point in the NBA for years. Like, I don't think it was that difficult to see coming where we got to. So, I mean, now basically we're in reactionary mode. Like, what can you do to repair it, to fix it, to make things better moving forward? And I think you need some really outside the box thinker. And I think Kobe Bryant would have been unafraid to make some really big changes. So that's a great question. JW, thank you for it. And I think that, yeah, Kobe could have maybe gotten us back on the right track.
And I think maybe he would have had his influence, hopefully, to stop some of these new gimmicks like this stupid play-in tournament, especially that gimmicky banner that's a joke. Kobe would probably climb the rafters and pull that down himself if he was still alive. Okay.
I agree. Kobe, that would have been absolutely humiliating. If I would have loved to see Kobe's real response reaction to that, to not only them hanging a banner for that, but like just the way LeBron reacted to it. Like Kobe,
right.
Like, do you remember when Kobe was on? I think it was on Jimmy Kimmel. Like one of the years he was hurt and he was out for a lot of the season. He was on Jimmy Kimmel, and like the Lakers had lost like, I don't know, like 20 games in a row or something like that. And when they snapped their winning streak, they were dancing around and celebrating. And Jimmy Kimmel showed the clip, and Kobe Bryant looked like he was going to throw up in his mouth. He was so furious looking. And Kimmel was like, would that have happened if you were there? And the death stare that Kobe shot to Kimmel was like, so to see, like, but that's what Kobe Bryant, that was his mentality. Like, LeBron, like, bro, how are you not above this? I mean, he's been in the league at the point that they won that. He was in the league for 21 years. He thinks he's the best player ever. Several other misinformed individuals agree with him. So like, but is it not beneath you to when you win a series of games or whatever, when you win a tournament of consisting of 6 games of like 4 or 5 of the 6 teams were under 500 at the time. And when you win that in like December and you're spraying yourself down with champagne and acting like you won a championship, like how is that not beneath you? I don't get it.
Right.
But hell, that's just me. John's back in trying to sabotage my sleep schedule tonight. Because I was getting ready, Gary. I think we should start getting ready to wind things down here.
I think one more quick topic to brush up on to close things out. Give a quick recap on your thoughts of game 1 from the Cavs Pacers.
Yeah, great question, Gary. And thank you, John Rackcliffe. As he mentioned, the first thing he mentioned when he came in tonight was that he wants me to be here till 3 a.m. And now he's just trying to make that come to fruition.
John, we're trying to get him to bed soon and to sleep so that he can be refreshed to hopefully we're going to try to come back for OKC Denver tomorrow night. Right.
But John, thank you for your continued support of me out here. And yes, Gary, great point. We had 2 games tonight, just to put a bow on them. The Cleveland Cavaliers, surprise, they pretty much got worked and outplayed for the vast majority of their game 1 opener against Indiana. They're obviously really missing Darius Garland in that series. So we'll see. He's day-to-day allegedly with some kind of a hyperextended toe on his left foot, an injury sustained in game 2 of their first-round series against the Heat. So they desperately need him. He has not been cleared yet to return to any kind of practice or activities with the team. So we'll see there. That's a must-win game in my estimation in game 2. You absolutely cannot go down 0-2 at home and expect to win a series moving forward. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, who won 64 games this year, who we were all already salivating over and anticipating that Eastern Conference Finals Eastern Conference Finals matchup between Boston and Cleveland. Who knows if that's even going to come to fruition? We might, for the second year in a row, now be getting treated to Indiana and Boston if that is the Darius Garland can't make it back quickly. So Indiana, great team effort tonight there. And on the other end, Houston, obviously very young, very unproven, and very unprepared for this game 7 tonight. Even though it was at home, they ran up against a defensive buzzsaw by the Golden State Warriors and their championship medal. They will now be advancing into the second round to play the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Gary, you talked about it. We've got 2 games on tomorrow night, one being the nightcapper at 9:30, Denver and Oklahoma City in a battle of 2 league MVPs, 2 league MVP finalists, the only 2 league MVP finalists. They've been basically wire to wire 1 and 2, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Giannis Antetokounmpo. The matchup we've all been waiting for all year begins tomorrow in Oklahoma City. They're rested. Denver's coming off of one night of rest. Their 9.5-point favorites are the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow. And in the early game, to get us prepared for that nightcapper, we've got the Knicks tipping off against Boston in their game one. Also, Boston and a substantial favorite in that game. They also open as 9.5-point favorites in that game one. So two tasty little game ones tomorrow. In my estimation, the two teams that ultimately will be vying off for the NBA championship in about a month's time or so, Boston and the Oklahoma City Thunder will start their journey towards that point in the second round, at least tomorrow, with two game ones on tap. So there are those things going on. I will see if I can make my way on here tomorrow at some point and do a little Scap Live After Dark, kind of a lounge setting again tomorrow. See if I have the energy to do so tomorrow after what looks to be another long night, because John is not going to let me out of here. Obviously, he slid in with another super chat to try to force me to stay on longer.
We
Gary,
got a good one under that. We got a really good one.
All right, what does John have to say though? Let's just
he just repeated the same thing as before. He's just playing around with you, dudes. I'm Opie. I'm saying night time now. Yeah, just the same thing as before. He's just messing with you.
Thanks, John. And then, yes, actually, Graham is back in with yet another very generous donation. Graham already has donated very generously to us here in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge. So, what does Graham have to say?
Well, Graham, for one, I've got to tell you, your list is incomplete. Let me complete it for you momentarily when I get down to it. But a very good question here. Why do you think people put LaFlop over Kobe? Knowing Kobe played with one superstar in Shaq and won 5 rings in his prime, and LeBron played with AD, Luka, Wade, Bosh, Love, Kyrie, and only has 4 rings in 10 finals appearances. Kobe has 5 rings and 7 finals appearances. And to complete your list, Graham, add Ray Allen to that list of stars LeBron played with.
Yeah, and remember, Ray Allen did, while he was not quite he wasn't peak Ray Allen or whatever, of course.
But he saved them in 2013.
He was instrumental with that corner 3 against Gary, your Spurs.
Yes, I remember.
Graham, thank you for your very generous donation, and thank you for your great question. One of the reasons, let me get my face here back in this. One of the reasons why I really started the push, the anti-LeBron push, 15, 20 years ago when I did, is because I saw just this unfair movement by the mainstream media pushing LeBron, hyping LeBron up, and trying to elevate him over Kobe from a pretty early stage. Kobe was winning championships and by far the best player in the NBA. And LeBron was in his fourth, fifth year, flaming out in the playoffs as the favorite with the best record in the league MVP. And then Kobe was beating those teams that LeBron was losing to. Obviously, I'm talking about Orlando and Boston in those back-to-back years. And I just was baffled. I was puzzled. So, Graham, this is a great question. I don't know that I necessarily even have the answer to it, because I, for the life of me, haven't been able to figure it out for 22 years now. How, when, and why did LeBron James move above Kobe Bryant? To me, he never has, Graham. That's why I'm out here. Part of the major reason I am out here, one of the main reasons, is to try to restore balance here and try to bring perspective and show that Kobe Bryant actually is above LeBron James. That's one of the founding principles of my brand, of my channel, of my movement out here. So I don't really know why or when this all started, but it was definitely majorly pushed by the media. And I think now we've reached a point where we're in this kind of revisionist history, or people just look at what the media says about LeBron and they just believe it implicitly, or they look at the fact that LeBron, again, just like with Jordan, LeBron has the counting longevity metric stats, so that plays a factor into it. But to me, there's really no doubt that peak for peak, Kobe Bryant, has a I think he has a much higher peak than LeBron James. Kobe Bryant, who in a 96 point per game season in 2005, 2006. An NBA where average nightly scoring was 96 points per game. Kobe scored 35 points per game that year. If you adjust it for pace and minimize, put it per 100 and justify the pace differential to all the other all-time great scoring seasons. Like that season's the best scoring season in NBA history. The season Kobe scored 40 for an entire month, where he scored 4 straight 50-point games, where he outscored the Dallas Mavericks by himself for 3 straight quarters, where he scored 81 in an entire game against the Raptors. That was the best single season scoring output in NBA history. If you adjust for pacing, he was first team All-NBA defense that year. Like the guy it was wild what he did. He took Pau Gasol, who at the time in 7 years made 1 All-Star game ever, no All-NBA selections. Kobe took that dude, went to 3 straight finals against all 50-win opponents, and won back-to-back titles against 2 teams that beat MVP LeBron and eliminated MVP LeBron from the playoffs. Like that to me, that's why Kobe Bryant's peak to me is right. Like that's why he's number 2 all time. And that to me is why it ain't close between LeBron and Kobe. It never was. And Graham, it never will be. So many thanks though for that question. That was a terrific question. And I wish I had a better answer other than I don't really know because I don't have LeBron over Kobe for many of the reasons that you highlighted. So,
and Fuel 20 in the chat makes a great point. All you have to ask yourself is how many championships would Kobe win with Bosh and Wade?
And it's not just that. It's honestly not just that. Fuel. What was that? Who was that, Gary?
Fuel 20.
Fuel 20.
Graham's back with another one. But yeah, go ahead and do Fuel.
Fuel, shout out to you. Good point there. But yes, that honestly is one of my, I don't like to do whataboutisms or, like what ifs or hypotheticals. But to me, this is just so plain and clear to me that it's not a hypothetical. It's just an undeniable fact. LeBron James was like 26 years old when he teamed up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh on that Miami super team. Kobe Bryant was 26 years old on that year I just referenced in 2005, 2006, where he led the league in scoring at 35 points per game and was first team All-NBA defense and a freaking killer. Like we knew he was a killer because he was already leading the Lakers in clutch time scoring and winning championships when he was like 21 and 22 years old. So I think to myself, if you put that Kobe Bryant on that Dwayne Wade and that Chris Bosh against the same competition, the same 4 teams that LeBron faced in those 4 seasons, well, Kobe wins all 4 of those. And Gary, I know that you will probably give me pushback on the Spurs, that Spurs championship team in 2013. But whatever, like agree to disagree. Kobe would have easily gone 4 for 4 with 26-year-old Kobe. That 26-year-old Kobe that scored 35 per game and was first team All-NBA defense. You dump him with that D Wade and that Chris Bosh and that Miami Heat team, Kobe would have won 4 for 4. So how can I possibly justify putting LeBron above that? Right. Like when LeBron pooped himself against the Mavericks and then LeBron got eviscerated against the Spurs, beaten in the largest margin of differential in NBA history by the Spurs in 2013, humiliated in two series. Of course, I can't put LeBron above Kobe, and I never will.
Yeah, so you're saying when the Spurs won in 2014 finals that had Kobe been there in place of LeBron, the Heat would have won.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And he definitely would have beaten the Mavericks as well.
Well, you said 4 for 4. I highly doubt it would have been a sweep.
No. I'm not saying swept. I'm saying he would have won all 4. So LeBron was 2 and 2.
Yes. Okay. I thought you meant in the games, in the series, they would have won.
No, I mean, that probably would have went 7, Gary. I mean, it still would have probably went 7.
I can't give you pushback because you very well could be correct. Most likely, you're probably right. Kobe would have led them to win in 7, probably.
So great point. And then Graham, great. Thank you for that question. Thank you for the super chat.
Graham is trying to pay your rent this month.
And Graham is back. Graham is not only trying to pay my rent. Thank you so much for your donations and supporting me here in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge. But Graham is also out here now teamed up with John Rackcliffe, trying to stop me from ever going to sleep.
Right.
Seemingly. So thank you, Graham, for I think there is 3 straight Graham messages.
Yeah, he's got another one after this one.
Yes, Graham. So Graham has sent now 3 consecutive messages. This one right here could have listed Shaq. Go ahead, Gary. I'll let you read that one. Graham.
Yeah, it could have listed Shaq and Melo. LeBron played with more, but Kobe carried mid players in the hardest Western Conference in history with 50-plus win teams against Houston, Dallas, Sacramento, Seattle, Memphis. I'm sorry, what's SAP? I'm drawing a blank. Is that supposed to be San Antonio?
I think so. I think yeah.
Okay, and let me just throw in a comment here. Kobe was playing with Jeremy Lin at the end of his career. LeBron's playing with Luka. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you look at the teams Kobe had at the twilight of his career, it is absolutely pathetic and reprehensible, and that's why I went on my bus family tirade earlier,
right?
In this stream. Graham, again, you're just making so much damn sense here. Yeah, that Western Conference.
Let me throw this one in, Scap. Let's go to his next one because we're gonna put this all together. His next one says, how many chips does LeChoke have if he played in the Western Conference in his whole career?
Right. And yeah, just to piggyback on that Western Conference, he didn't even mention. I know Kobe. Look, also in that it's not mentioned here. Oklahoma City also was there. They were very young, but the Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden Oklahoma City Thunder were in this same Western Conference. Kobe 1 year played that team and beat them as the 1-8. That is how ridiculous that Western Conference was. The Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, and James Harden Oklahoma City Thunder won 50 games 1 year, were the 8th seed, and Kobe had to play that team in the 1 versus 8 before he went on then to go on the rest of the way throughout the playoffs and get into the finals after that. So like that was how, and he played with literally Pau Gasol. And this is how great Graham, great points, Graham. This is how great Kobe Bryant is. He's so great that now in hindsight, we have people talking about Pau Gasol like he's a top 50 player or like he was like one of the a top 5 player in the NBA. Like this was a guy who made 1 All-Star in his first 7 years of his career, no NBA designated selections, and won 0 playoff games. Kobe took that dude as by far his best player and went through that gauntlet that Graham is mentioning, plus the Oklahoma City Thunder team that I just mentioned. And now we have people sitting back and saying, oh, well, that Kobe, that was a super team. Lamar Odom, no All-Stars ever. Derek Fisher, 6-point per game career scorer. Like these are the players. Like these are the players that are super teams now. Apparently, like it is just crazy. Meanwhile, in hindsight, LeBron James, to lift him up, people are like, "Oh yeah, well Dwayne Wade wasn't actually that good though." At that point, like Chris Bosh wasn't actually that good at that. Like, do you see the differential of how Kobe's dealt with by like the media and like the perception of these idiots on social media with these stupid handles that are running around spewing this idiocy? Like, oh, well, Dwayne Wade actually was pretty overrated at the time. But Pau Gasol, like top 10 all time. Like that's pretty much like how great Kobe is, that we force these stupid ass conversations. So great point, Graham. But to your second point, how many chips does LeBron have if he played in the Western Conference his whole career? You can make a case like none, like 1 or none, because he's consistently losing to all of, like, he gets into the finals 10 times and loses 6 times out of 10. So he only against the West in his prime or whatever, he won only 4 out of 10 tries against the West. But what if he had to play 3 series against those Western Conference teams just to get into the NBA Finals? So, I see the case to be made sometimes like, oh, well, if he was in the West, then he would have had easier matchups in the East. Okay, but he would have never gotten into the NBA Finals in the first place, because instead of just having to beat one Western Conference team, in which he couldn't do barely, he couldn't even do it half the time, beat one Western Conference team throughout the course of a playoff run, this cat would have had to been beating 3 Western Conference teams in the playoffs for his entire career. You can make a case, maybe 1. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say 2. But that would be the max. That would be the most. LeBron James would be talking 2 championships in 22 years. So thank goodness for him that he was a coward and a mercenary and, skirted his way to as many super teams as was possible. Graham, many thanks for your run of 3 super chat donations and 3 highly good comments and questions along the way. Carlo is in, though, as well with the super. Gary, what does Carlo have to say?
He's got a good one. You and I have had this discussion before. Scap, it's your boy again. I'm a Kobe guy, but I think putting TD over Kobe, vice versa, is plausible. I grew up in the early 2000s. Basically, Kobe had higher highs and lower lows, and Duncan was just more consistent throughout because of the system he was in.
Carlo, great question, and I'm not really going to argue it. I'll just agree with it. And I have Kobe on my all-time list. I've been talking about my all-time top 10 list a lot. I haven't really definitively said what it is. I will be putting out a top 10 video at some point. I've been working. It's 30 minutes long, and I've been working on it for it seems like a full year now, just trying to edit it, muster the intestinal fortitude to edit a 30-minute video. But I'll say this. I will give this little teaser. Kobe is number 2 on my all-time list, and Tim Duncan is number 4. So that's all time. So it's you know what? I might even be thinking Duncan should be 3, quite frankly, now that I'm thinking of who I do have at number 3. Like, I wouldn't necessarily push back of me maybe moving Duncan to 3. So this is extraordinarily close to me. The Tim Duncan, Kobe Bryant kind of back and forth. The fact that they both play such high leverage defense, really high end two-way players. There are 3 players in NBA history. I think you can make a case Michael Jordan or Hakeem Olajuwon are the best peak two-way players, because both of them won a league MVP and a defensive player of the year in the same season. And Jordan led the league in scoring when he did it. But there are 3 players all time in NBA history who have made double-digit all-NBA team selections and double-digit all-NBA defensive selections. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Kobe Bryant, and Tim Duncan. That's it. So that's the list. And if you combine all NBA defensive selections and all NBA selections, Kobe and Duncan have the most of any player in NBA history. And they both won 5 championships with not a ton of help comparatively to other all-time greats we've seen. So they are very close, Carlo. That's a great point. People that I disagree, if you put Duncan above Kobe, I disagree personally. I have Kobe, but it's close. And I'm not going to split hairs if you think that Duncan goes ahead. I'll disagree and I'll make my case for Kobe. But I think the world of Tim Duncan, and just really just to say these two basically were overlapping players. They were concurrent guys that played essentially the same exact number of years in the same exact NBA in the same freaking conference. Can you imagine, what if, Tim Duncan didn't exist? Or what if Kobe Bryant didn't exist? The other one, how many would they have had? Kobe, would he have had, 8 rings then? Or Duncan vice versa? Let's just give both of these guys, the utmost credit and pay homage to both of them. 2 of my all-time top Mount Rushmore. I've got them both top 4. Those are 2 of my Mount Rushmore players. So, yeah, there's just no denying it. Thank you, Carlo, for the shout out. Thank you for the support. Thank you for, sponsoring me. And Gary, I don't know what is Graham. Graham,
this is easy. This is just a comment for you to give some gratitude. So this is going to be very quick. And thank you for the 20-piece, Graham, again. Scap, thank you for speaking the truth while everyone else is paid for. Nick Wright, anyone? We need more people like you to speak the truth. I hope your channel blows up with you being on Whitlock's channel. Go to bed, please. Sorry to keep you up.
Graham, thank you so much. Graham, this has been a very, very generous night for you. I don't know what you do, Graham. I don't know what it is that you do professionally, but you've got to be pretty successful to be making it rain super chats here in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge, and I appreciate you very much. I am delirious at this point. There has not been a lot of sleep for me to go around these last 2 weeks, but thank you so much for your continued support of me, of the channel. And yes, I am. It's true. I am on Jason Whitlock from time to time. I was in studio with him like about 2 weeks ago. So, and I'm just putting the work in. I just love doing this. Ultimately, so I don't mind like grinding and working at this and not sleeping much, because I do ultimately just love talking shit about sports, and I love exposing fraudulent takes and fraudulent players, and I like to try to illuminate more deserving, underrated guys. So that's just basically, it's just been my mission throughout my life when I had no real voice or no real platform to speak of. So I'm just trying to, one day at a time, just build it as much as I can, get it as big as possible. And with you guys out here supporting me, I think at one point, one day, I don't know how long it will take, but I think I'll get to where I want to be one day out there. So Graham, again, thank you very much for a very generous night from you tonight. And
a last one, John, I was in bed sleeping, then you brought this up. Anyone? We're at 49. Anybody want to do one last one for an even 50? I like even numbers. I hate odd numbers. We need a 50, number 50. I was in bed sleeping. Then you brought this up. Bird and Magic were Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan before Kobe Bryant and Tim Duncan were around. Okay, I'm going back to bed now. And just to say, it's like Kobe and Duncan picked up the torch from Jordan. When Jordan retired, for the next 12 seasons, the Spurs and Lakers won 9 championships over the next 12 years. The Spurs winning 4, the Lakers winning 5.
Yeah, it's John, this is a great point. And John, thank you for John has been on a mission for the last couple of nights to just keep me awake. So John, thank you so much for your continued kind support of me and the channel, and for continuing to just take as much sleep off of me as you possibly can here. This is a great point. Bird and Magic went back and forth to multiple championships throughout the 80s. But here's the difference, though, between Bird and Magic and Duncan and Kobe. Like, at least they were in separate conferences, and not only separate conferences, but perfect foils. You had, like blue-collar Boston versus the ritzy, glam and showtime of the LA Lakers, and they played that way accordingly. Like Boston was more of like a physically imposing kind of bruiser type mentality, whereas LA had that showtime appeal. So, but at least they were in separate conferences, so at least you could get that high end, like LA versus Boston, Burn versus Magic. Like you could get to that, you can at least win your conference. Whereas poor Tim Duncan and poor Kobe Bryant had the misfortune of being in the same conference. Gary, because I am so delirious and I have like 6.5 hours of sleep in the last 48 hours total combined now, it's off the top of my head. Usually I would know this, but I'm not certain of it. I think I want to say Duncan and Kobe played each other 4 times head to head, where the winner beat the loser ultimately won the NBA championship. So had one of them not been there or whatever, I think you can make a case like the other one could have had 8 or 9 championships. At least they would have been to 8 or 9 finals and had that opportunity. As it is, Duncan went to 6, Kobe went to 7, Kobe was 5-2. Duncan was 5-1. So that's a great point, John. A great question. Thank you for bringing that up. But at least if they were in separate conferences like Bird and Magic, at least we could have seen them at least playing for the championship instead of playing for like in the semis or in the West Finals or something like that. So,
all right, we got number 50. All right,
it is unsurprisingly Graham that comes back in to put us over our 50 plateau. So Graham, thank you very much. And Gary, what does Graham have for us?
Thank you for the 5-piece. Well, when you make it, I'll be here for it because you deserve it, Scap. And that's what I've been telling you ever since I contacted you. Keep bringing the truth and split my money with your moderator. He's awesome. LOL. Well, I can't disagree. We can't disagree with Graham. He speaks the truth.
100%, Graham. I do appreciate your generosity and your support, and hopefully I do get there someday, and I'll be absolutely grateful to have you on board the whole way through. And I do kick moderator Gary. I do give moderator Gary some contributions here as well. I want to make sure that I am fair with Gary, moderator Gary, and sharing in the love and the money with him, which I will continue to do because he's doing a great job. He deserves it. And Gary, thank you again. Thank you for everything you've been doing here, Gary. I do appreciate you. And yes, absolutely, he does deserve the love as well, which is why he will be also sharing in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge revenue here. So thank you. And we have now ticked over to yet another super chat. So yet another one that I will speak to here and recognize and not go to bed. So it is B Twixton, another regular.
Yes.
What is Chronicles of Riddick avatar B Twixt have for us, Gary?
Our frenemy is back with a 5-piece. Draymond clears Leroy's in my Mount my Mount Rushmore of frauds. Assaults play. I'm trying to say it, but I'm actually laughing because this is funny. Assault players on the court carried to 4 rings. Called KD in the parking lot. Triple single merchant. This may be the funniest comment we've had on the 3 live streams so far. That one is
triple single merchant is good. That is
from Betwixt.
Triple single merchant Betwixt is a hell of a comment there. And in fact, Betwixt, I think we've got a little love-hate going on here. I think you and I and you and Gary and just you in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge. Obviously, you're liking something about it because I think you've been here pretty much for the last 3.5 hours that we've been doing this, and you have been very generous with your donations here. So I think you must like something going on here in the Scap Live After Dark Lounge, and I like something about you here now, Betwixt. Because I don't agree, I don't disagree with a single word of this great comment that you just made. I think that like Draymond does clear Leroy's in the Mount Rushmore of frauds. He does assault players on the court. He was carried to 4 rings. He did call KD when they lost the championship in 2015-2016 with 73 wins. He was the first one to reach out. Though I don't know if I think I heard it was like maybe in the shower, which is even weirder. Like, did he have a cell phone in the shower? Or was it before? Did he get dressed at least when he got out of the shower before he called KD? Or was it? I don't even want to think about it. But
I thought he was in the parking lot. That's
okay.
What I heard.
So if it was the parking lot, then it was the parking lot. But he was the first one to reach out to KD. So, and yes, he is a triple single merchant. So. Betwixt, I think I'm on the same page with you. We talked last night about it. There was a question, Gary, that was posed to me about like the biggest villain other than like KD or LeBron, and like I mentioned Draymond prominently there because I hate Draymond's guy. I think he's a piece of crap player. I think he absolutely is not respectful in terms of I said this last night. I like physical guys, I like guys who wear their emotions on their sleeves. I like guys who talk trash. But Draymond takes it to, I think, an unprofessional level and a dirty level.
Yes.
And I think he's a classless person and a classless player. So I be Twixt. I am with you actually on this 100%.
Great comment. All righty. Thank you, GGT999 with the 5-piece. If Curry didn't have an MCL injury and Bogut didn't get hurt, what do you think would have happened in 2016? 1,000,000% Golden State wins that series. 1,000,000%.
Yeah, GGT999. Thank you very much for the super chat donation here. I think, it's really not hard to imagine. Bogut gets hurt. Draymond gets suspended. Speaking of him and his bum Draymond, who was running around fondling men's groin areas in those playoffs multiple times, the below the belt region, for him to get himself suspended, which of course was probably like a commissioner lob to LeBron James to suspend him and try to help LeBron get over the top there and that. But I'm going to throw that suspension in too. So if Draymond doesn't get suspended, if Bogut doesn't get hurt, and if obviously Curry was dealing with something, we don't know precisely what it was or what the grade of the injury was, but like he was obviously not 100%. So if none of those things are true, probably the Warriors win in 5 games. Like they were up 3-1.
Right.
They were rolling. And then Bogut gets hurt. Draymond gets suspended. Kyrie drops 45 in game 5 to stave off elimination. Then they go back home then in game 6, win a home game. And then, Kyrie kind of went ballistic again in game 7 to some degree. So if those things did not happen, I think the Warriors probably win that series in 5 games and win it 4-1. And then who knows? The whole complexity. This is a good what if. Like I do like what NBA what ifs. Like this changes the complexity, because if the Warriors win that series in 5,
right,
on the heels of 73 wins, and they become essentially, I don't know that I would have necessarily agreed that they were the best team ever. I still think I would have went with one of the Lakers teams in the 80s, or the 72 Bulls, or the 86 Celtics or something, or the 2001 Lakers. But they would have been proclaimed and declared as the greatest team ever with 73 wins and a championship. There's a 0% chance Kevin Durant goes there then. It's 0. So I think that would have changed that would have rewritten the history of the NBA to some degree, because Kevin Durant would never have been able to justify going there with them winning. And the Warriors, quite frankly, would have not even been able to justify entertaining that conversation. So great. That's a good question. GGT999. Thank you for the question, and thank you for the shout out in the super chat there.
Okay, last one of the night. We appreciate it. We're about to wrap up because I'm hoping we can do Denver OKC tomorrow. So Scap needs to get some sleep. Last one from B Schoolfield for 2-piece, and we'll do a quick refresher because we actually just covered this a good hour ago or so. We talked about Penny. How good would you say Penny was before he got hurt?
Yeah, he was like the best player in the league at his position before he got hurt. With an asterisk because of Jordan was not in the league, but the All NBA was positional back then. So there was only one guy at each position selected to the first, second, and third All NBA teams. When Michael Jordan was retired and out of the NBA playing baseball in 93, 94, 94, 95, Penny Hardaway was first team All NBA for both of those years. So he was the best player at his position and a top 5 player in the NBA when he was like in his early 20s, those 2 years that Jordan was out. And then when Jordan came back in, to refresh anyone's memory that wasn't listening, is 17, 18-ish games in the 94-95 season before the playoffs began, came back in, they played Orlando, and Penny Hardaway essentially played Jordan to a draw in that 94-95 playoff series. Obviously, Jordan was a little rusty, but still, Penny Hardaway was, a top 10 player before he got hurt in the NBA at that time. So B Schoolfield, thank you for the shout out. And thank you for the question. And unfortunately, Gary, B Twix is back in. So maybe this will be our last one.
Our friend B Twix is back, and I'm not quite sure what he's saying, but he's exposing me, and I'm not quite sure if I can confirm this to be true or false. I don't want to reveal my sources out of respect, but I heard moderator Gary called foul in a game of 2-on-2 on game point and is a free throw merchant. Are you saying I'm a good free throw shooter? Because I actually was. I'm very small frame, so I was not very good in the paint, but I was actually a very good free throw shooter, just for the record.
Is this, Gary, can you confirm or deny this? Will you deny this?
I will not either one. I'm not going to confirm or deny because I don't want to be exposed.
Okay, well.
This is really serious here.
Moderator Gary, these are serious allegations. You cannot in good conscience call foul in a game of 2v2 on game point. I mean, quite frankly, it's, you don't like to see people calling fouls anyway in 2v2. But to me, look, I'm a man of honor and dignity, so I call my own fouls. Like if I got you, then I call it and we check ball.
Imagine LeBron doing that every play. Foul, foul. Literally every play he doesn't score. Foul. Literally.
Yes, that is a serious allegation, though, to say the least, coming from B Twix. And B Twix, listen, I've known, like I said, I've known moderator Gary for like about a year now, and I have not heard any of these such allegations in the past. So, but you have my word. I will do some independent investigations and get to the bottom of this. If moderator Gary called foul on a game point in 2v2, that would obviously be a faux pas. That'd be bad practice. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Gary. I think we were just about there.
He's here. I want to know moderator's channel. Scap is amazing, but moderator Gary deserves some love. Keep doing your thing, Scap. We love your content. Well, basically, I do have a main channel, Gary828, but it's got a bunch of mixed topics. And I also have a channel I haven't really done much called Gary828 Sports Talk. And I'm going to be making some videos over there. So I'm developing, but I got to tell you guys, that the difference between me and Scap, we share a lot of the same thoughts. This guy is a human walking encyclopedia. His brain processor just works so fast. I'm in awe at the speed his brain processes, whereas my brain processor is a lot slower. So whereas he can put out a video, 5 to 6 videos a week, I'm going to put out like 1 to 2 a week. So that is why he is so much further ahead. I've been on YouTube 8 years. He's been on 2 years and has triple the subscribers that I have in that short amount of time. But Scap is one of, and I'm not just saying this because he's here. I told him straight up, he's one of my favorite YouTubers. I love his content. And that's why I reached out to him. Because I'm like, I love his content. Because in a lot of ways, his content reminds me a lot of the content I make. And I have made some exposed videos in the past. I actually make Christian content. I also make soap reviews. And I also make psychology videos. I'm a mixed bag. So the YouTube algorithm does not know how to process Gary828 channel. So I don't get pushed out very often. So I have very low views of the last 5-6 months or so. But last year I made a video that got 300,000 views, and another one that got 100,000, and another one that got 50,000. But if you look lately, my last video only got 300 views. So it's a mixed bag, but I'm developing that, and I'm really here to help Scap get this message out because he is combating the ESPN narrative. And we hear comments all the time. Thank you, Scap, for doing this because you're actually making a dent in the big ESPN media machine. So that's why we all here and why we appreciate. And you can do this so much better than the most of us because this gift you have, your brain goes so fast. I don't understand it. This guy's going off nearly 3 hours sleep right now, guys. 3.5 hours we've been here. He's been working today, going on 3 hours sleep. And look at him. He's still here at 1:15 in the morning. I would have been passed out at 8 o'clock. So, yes, props to Scap for his brain processor.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you very much for those kind words, Gary, and for your kind words as well, Graham, and for your kind contributions. And all of you guys, thank you very much for all of your kind contributions yet again, and for turning out for me yet again for a third straight night. We'll see if we can do it for a fourth straight night tomorrow. 2,000 over 2,400 comments overall in the chat there over there. So thank you guys very much. I cannot understate it, like how much you guys mean to me. Your support means to me. It is absolutely very humbling. Congratulations to the Warriors for advancing into the second round. Congratulations to the Indiana Pacers tonight for their surprise game 1 victory over Cleveland. We've got, again, 2 good game 1s tomorrow. Boston's in action in that juicy little MVP battle with Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We'll see if we can light up the Scap Live After Dark Lounge tomorrow for a 4th consecutive night. Until then, though, guys, have a good night, and I will catch you next time. Gary, thank you very much, and you have a good night as well, my friend.
All right. Until next time.